Welcome into Sports Time. Brett and Bryant with you on a Wednesday afternoon, and we've got a ton to talk about over the next 3 hours. Johnny Hill producing us as always. And Brett, it really feels like today, we say it all the time, but it feels like today is really one of the first days I've been like, man, with football, basketball, I mean, everything is kind of running together, and there's so much to talk about.
Bring it on. We love it, don't we?
We sure do. We sure do. We love every minute of it. And with the college football playoffs, another poll released last night.
More outrage?
Was last night the most outrage? Was there any outrage? I don't really pay attention to the outrage meter as much as I used to.
Well, we're getting down to the chestnut cracking time. Only one more reveal, and it won't be another weeknight reveal. It will be next Sunday morning, and kind of the old All-Star Game Fox promo.
Yeah.
This time it matters.
Yeah.
Sunday, that's the one that goes in the Lamb's Book of Life.
Yes, that one is the one that matters, and we'll get to it, and we'll see what kind of craziness happens over the weekend to kind of affect it, and
I don't
see who's
want
left.
Chaos.
Do you not? You've been wanting chaos. You've been wanting chaos all season.
I've never got it, so I think playing the reverse psychology role.
Oh, Brett, I'm the reverse psychology king. I mean, I love doing.
That's how you base all your Cowboy picks. Our Cowboys.
Yeah, our Cowboys. I always
and sometimes on the Tigers you do that.
That's right.
No, Florida State. Look, when you open against LSU at a neutral that wasn't so neutral, it was more pro FSU.
Right.
They also played that game last year in New Orleans and won it too.
It's a very good point.
And then you close with your annual state championship battle against Florida, even with a downtrodden Florida. You're not ducking anybody non-conference.
No. They played a great non-conference schedule, and it's not their fault that it's not Florida State's fault that that LSU lost 3 games, or 2 other games in the season.
Couldn't play defense all year.
That's not when that game happened at the very beginning of the season.
We thought LSU was behemoth,
and we thought that was going to be the win of the year, the game of the year. How did Florida State pull that off? This Florida State team's going to be unbelievable, and they are a really good team. So yeah. I mean, I've seen some of that outrage, but no, I kind of stay away from the outrage until the final poll is released. And
if you think Bama was mad last year, and they were, at 10-2 and being left out, wait until they're 11-1 and champions of the SEC.
Yes. No, it will be much different. Then that will be a new level of outrage, I think.
But I said it this morning with Dave. I've said it consistently on these airwaves. Any airwaves I've been on, I'll say it consistently in the belly of the beast tomorrow at 12:30 when I hit on Jocks with our friend Pat Smith that we're going to visit today in about 27 minutes at 3:30 on our show. I just think it's simple sports competition.
Yeah.
They played. Texas won.
That's right. They played.
Bama got the benefit last year of hanging on to win an ugly one at Austin when they beat Texas there.
No, you're right. And so it's how it plays out. I mean, that's what it is. And, next year we'll have 12 teams. And so we won't have to argue about just 4 spots.
I do love this about my Bama friends and Bama fans. It is an absolute birthright to them.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean,
it just is.
I mean, with that much success,
you can almost feel
don't blame them.
So, what bowl would they go to if they're not? Probably Cotton.
Probably.
Maybe Peach.
Sure.
What are we doing at the Cotton Bowl when everybody else in college football, outside of maybe 2 or 3, when 130 teams? Yeah. And I'm hoping some way Sunday, and I don't think it's realistic. Mizzou's going to stay in front of Ole Miss.
Right.
For Ole Miss to go to another Cotton Bowl,
great.
just be
unbelievable.
I'd walk to Dallas.
Yes.
Darn sure hitchhike from Hope on.
I don't think there'd be anybody that would be like, oh, man, Lane Kiffin's getting us to a Cotton Bowl. Are you kidding me?
Last year, there were Bama fans. Dang, Sugar Bowl.
Yeah.
It's nirvana for everybody else.
Everyone else, New Year's 6.
And I'm not ripping that. That's their lofty standards, but there's no birthright to it.
No, and Brett, Nick Saban has built that dynasty and
feeds it,
and it is what it is. I mean,
it is gargantuan.
They have done enough as a team to deserve it. So
we all can get spoiled really quickly in sports.
Yeah, we can.
I think that's one thing the Grizzlies are really swimming against right now. It's not just 3-13. 3-13 really matters.
Sure.
But it's the success and the fun and the prospect of what these years might bring that now doesn't seem as realistic.
Right. Yeah, no, I mean, it's
Tiger basketball fans.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think it's a lot of fan bases, and you can get into that very quickly if there's that success and, the excitement gets there and it just becomes what it is. And I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing to have excitement and
stinking spoiled Cardinal baseball
that's right.
fans.
I mean,
and Johnny's one now.
Johnny is.
We got Johnny on our
fan,
side.
So,
hey, I'm open to recruitment.
You need NIL?
Yes, I need an NIL.
We'll see what
Brent.
type of package we can put together for you.
I love it.
But no, it's fun to keep an eye on, and obviously some great matchups this weekend that we'll talk a lot about through the rest of the week. But Brett, yesterday we opened our show talking about Ryan Silverfield and Indiana. Well, that lasted less than 24 hours. This morning, that same Indiana 247 site said that he, along with a couple other names, are no longer candidates that they have heard Indiana is looking at. So it sounds like Ryan Silverfield will be back as the Tigers head coach next year.
I think that's great. I go back to exactly what I said 24 hours ago. I still think it is flattering. I still think it is a good thing. It is a sign and show of progress. And this is not a shot, but we know so often throughout Tiger football history, before the Fuente-Norvell run, and I think Ryan Silverfield has had really good years, maybe not run years, but really good ones. There was a lot of those years when the coach was fired and 2 years later, we didn't even know where they were an assistant coach. And didn't care.
No, you're right. Did not care. So no, it's
to some really good football coaches.
Right.
Tommy West, a good fella and a good football coach. Richard Williamson was a really, really good man and a good football coach. And it was they were cast into coaching purgatory. And it's just not that anymore. I think it's a sign of growth for Tigers football.
Yeah. No, I definitely think
I'm proud of the Tigers for that.
Absolutely. And then when you go back and you look at the past two coaches going to Power 5 schools, and we know Justin Fuente didn't work out at Virginia Tech, but then Mike Norvell has an opportunity Saturday to get his team into the college football playoff. So I mean, I think a lot of success. I think 9 wins in a season, a chance to win 10, depending on what you do in the bowl game. I mean, it's very clear. Teams are looking at that, and teams are seeing that and saying, hey, this coach is clearly doing something.
And this time next year, let's say Ryan Silverfield goes out there and puts together another 9-3 or north, 10-2. There will be more suitors.
Yes, there will. There will.
And if he doesn't, there won't be.
Right. And saying, like you say with the polls and with everything, it will all play out.
It does.
It all finds a way to work itself out. And so, we've talked about what he did this year, 9 wins, a chance at 10 wins in the bowl season. If he comes back next year and it's another 9-win season, 10-win season, we're going to be having more talks than just Indiana looking at him. There are going to be several schools looking at him.
It always plays out. There will be resolution. All the hopes and dreams of media days and August W's and L's and ceilings and basements, it all plays out. For dramatic purposes, I'm holding up the preseason grids from all the SEC, from all the AAC, that all the picking we did, and it's completed. And this year in the SEC, Bryant, for you, for the picks, I've got good news and I've got bad news.
Okay, I want the good news first, I guess.
The good news, you swamped me on AAC.
All right.
picks.
Hey, Brett, if I know something, it's the American.
I mean, crush me. 86-25 for you, 78-33 for me.
Do you have what team I was most accurate on?
I got it all.
Oh,
You were really good on a lot of picks. You were really good on East Carolina. I wasn't.
All right. That's where we really differed, was East Carolina.
You got every FAU game.
How about that?
Except for one, FAU. Rice got you at the end.
Oh, Rice. Darn Rice.
You were really good on the Tigers, only missed on the Boise State game. You had everything else.
How about that?
Cross-checked pretty good. Mixed bag on Navy, mixed bag on North Texas. Same with Rice. One miss on SMU.
Wow. Well, I do have my SMU sweatshirt. I'm going to have to wear it the next 2 days with that championship.
You had them
game
beating TCU and they lost.
Oh, wow.
Everything else, dead, solid, perfect. You want the bad news?
I want the bad news now. You really hyped me up. I'm feeling good now. All right, crush me with the bad news.
Flat foot tie in the SEC.
You're kidding. That might be good news for me, Brett. I mean,
I'm going to get kicked out of the SEC Brotherhood.
I mean, that sounds like good news to
Johnny?
me. Johnny, that sounds like bad news for him. Sounds
Yeah,
like good
it
news
is
for
bad
me.
news for Brett. Brett, I don't think you're gonna get kicked out of the SEC Brotherhood.
I think you've done enough.
Yeah, you done. You clearly done more than enough.
Boy, you think I have. You got to keep paying up.
That's right.
90
Never
and
stop.
20 for me, 90 and 20
Wow.
for you.
How about that?
And it took a while last weekend for us to fall exactly on individual. Alabama, we both were
Sure.
really good in. That's the easy one. Arkansas, mixed bag for both of us. You had 8 and 4. I had 7 and 5.
Oh, man.
Auburn, you had 7 and 5. I had 7 and 5. They're
Okay.
6-6.
Okay.
Florida, you only missed 2 Florida
How about
games
that?
all year. Had them 5 and 7. I had them 6-6. Georgia's easy. You had 12-0. I had 11-1.
Okay.
Kentucky, 6-6 for you, 6-6 for me.
All right.
LSU, 11-1 for you, so they nicked you a
A
little.
little bit, yeah.
10-2 for me. Ole Miss,
Okay.
6-6 for you. You got a lot of X's. 7 and 5 for me.
Wow. So they get old Lane Kiffin got both of us.
Mississippi State, we were pretty close on 6-6 for you, 6-6 for me. They were 5-7. Mizzou, you had 5-7. I had
cow.
6-6.
Holy cow.
Yeah,
Wow.
Man, it's an X fest.
MIZ, how about that?
Tennessee, I had 11-1. You had 10-2. A&M, they get me again.
Well, Brad, I told you, they got
You
me
did.
the past
You
2
begged.
years, and I said no more.
You had one miss on I had one miss on Vandy all year. I had them defeating UNLV. They lost.
Wow.
You had a couple misses.
I like Vandy.
You had 5-7.
Anchor down. I mean, what can I say? I fell in love with Vandy.
But we know so much then, and it all played out. It falls out.
How about that? Yeah.
To the victor go the spoils.
That's right.
I don't think it's something they can, berate the other side with. But I see some quickly wanting to go to coaching carousel talk.
Sure.
Like last year, all of a sudden, never even mattered.
Right.
No.
Yeah. I mean, it all plays out, and it's interesting to see how, different. I know, at least for me, a lot of my picks for, especially a conference that's covered like the SEC is covered, it's what I hear people connected with those teams are saying, what people on SEC Network are saying, what people on ESPN are saying. And it is interesting how different, seasons play out after so much hype with a team or so much, negativity before a season like Missouri. I mean, I remember a lot of people around, SEC media days talking about Missouri could be another bad season. Eli Drinkwitz, probably the first coach out, and he has a unbelievable season.
I had the Tigers 9-3. They went 9-3. I had a lost UAB and a win over SMU.
Well, hey.
And it was the old vice versa. I know it's vice versa.
Brett really could have been, right the opposite.
And for you had the Tigers 8-4, but you had it right on except for one game. You had the wins and losses picked.
Love my childhood of loving Boise State, and that run they had came out.
I'm
and
glad
said,
you liked
Boise, yeah. Brett, I like a lot. I mean, I'm easy to fall in love with. I just fall in love with
their
everybody.
fans.
Well, I haven't done that. I stayed far away from them. Brett, you warned me before that game. Stay far away from them.
Being around the Boise fans is a mix of being around Red Sox on top with a sprinkle of Notre Dame and the expectations and spoiled rotten of Cardinals and Alabama fans.
Huh. Well, that doesn't sound
Boise?
like type of fans I want to be around.
Yeah.
Wow. So much that my mic just wanted to stop
So much
working.
that machine gun fire broke out.
I don't know what that was.
I never heard that before.
I don't know what that was. But no, I mean, so really good season for the Tigers, and I'll pat both of us on the back. Good picking by us, I guess, for the most part, except for some of those teams that got us.
And I wasn't surprised by the three losses.
No.
I think those three teams were just better.
Well, and we've
It's like the Ole Miss losses.
Yeah,
I mean, the two they lost to were just better.
I mean, who's going to complain about losses at Georgia and
Not
at
me.
Alabama?
Well,
I mean,
I said it when we closed last Thursday night from Starkville, and it wasn't heat of the moment. It was the most fun year I've ever had with Ole Miss.
Yeah,
I mean,
I believe it.
The home games particularly, so fun. The win at Tulane, that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, and that was start of the season. But I mean, you go back to the Tigers, and Dave Voloshin mentioned this yesterday. We've mentioned it a couple times, but now those 3 teams that you lost to are all in the top 25 right now, and will likely end the season. Maybe SMU falls out depending on how Saturday goes, but those 3 teams that you lost to were in the top 25 and better than you.
133 teams playing college football.
Yep.
Mizzou could stay on the field with every one of them. They played Georgia 9 between the edges.
They did play Georgia close. I would say yeah.
Tulane could stay on the field with 128, 29, 30.
Yeah.
Beat USC last year when they had one loss.
Sure did.
Or maybe 2.
Yeah, I'd say, about 125, 126, yeah.
SMU stay out there with everybody except for about 10 or 15. I'm not saying beat, but just not go out and get a...
Right.
SMU didn't get annihilated when they played OU.
No, that game was... Oklahoma added a couple touchdowns, a couple scores late to make that one look... And the scoreboard didn't even look bad, but make it look a little...
I know it's a zero-sum business, and I love that aspect of it. I don't want it to become a debate society. I like that scoreboard being the truth teller, but sometimes... Some are just better than you are.
Hey, you're right. And sometimes they are, and sometimes that's just something that happens. And so, you go out and you try to retool in the off season, and you come back next year and you try to be a better team. But let me set up today's show before we get to top and not top story of the day. 3:30, Pat Smith from Jocks will join us. We'll talk a lot about Bama and Georgia this weekend for the SEC championship. We also will talk a lot of other things in the SEC as nobody covers SEC like they do over at Jocks. So we'll talk a lot of SEC with Pat Smith.
It's their pro franchise.
It really is. It really is. So we'll do that at 3:30. 3:45, Brett, get the grade books out. Get your pens out, your red pen out, because it's time for our final grades for the SEC and the Tigers. We'll do that to wrap up the hour. 4 o'clock, David Cohn, the co-host of Crane and Company, will join us to talk college football. A ton to get to with David, with everything that's happening in college football right now. 4:30, we'll get to some NFL and college football lines for the weekend. 4:45, we'll get to big number of the day. 5 o'clock, we'll talk college basketball with Kevin Sweeney from CBB Central and Sports Illustrated. 5:30, we'll have to preview tonight's game between the Grizzlies and the Utah Jazz. The Grizzlies looking for their first win of the season inside FedEx Forum. We'll do that at 5:30. Then 5:45, we'll wrap up today's show like we always do with Taco Bell Crunch Time. Let me remind you, we're in our Family Leisure studios where family and fun come together. The Overstock sale. Family Leisure needs your help to clear out the overstock inventory. Select patio sets up to 50% off. Play gyms under $2,000. Extended sale pricing on all in-stock hot tubs and swim spas, and the winter pool closing items up to 30% off. Pool tables and game room items now up to $700 off their in-stock items. And Family Leisure has you covered with saunas, massage chairs, arcades, and theater seating, all with free delivery. And that special financing, it's still available, but only at Family Leisure, 2120 Whitten Road, just north of I-40.
He's Brian. I'm Brett. Our producer is Johnny Hill, and our number's 901-360-8255. And this hour of our show is brought to you every day by the one and only Lexus dealership in town. That is Lexus of Memphis at 2600 Ridgeway and online at lexusofmemphis.com. Happy holidays and Merry Christmas from everyone at Lexus of Memphis to you and yours. And they want me to express to you how thankful they are for everybody that's been by their dealership this year to buy, for oil changes, to trade, whatever it is, to lease. They thank everyone so much. Call them at 901-334-9673. Great offers on the very few remaining 2023s and all the 24s and those special leasing options. Drive in luxury and confidence knowing that every new Lexus comes with complimentary first and second maintenance services. Stop by today at Lexus of Memphis at 2600 Ridgeway and put yourself in the driver's seat of the all-new 2024 flagship LS500, and you'll be looking and driving in style. What a way to start 2024. When you purchase a Lexus, you get top-of-the-line engineering and design, and they make for the luxury driving experience. Online at lexusofmemphis.com. Experience amazing at Lexus of Memphis.
Top story of the day.
Well, Brett, my top story of the day is the in-season tournament bracket is set in the NBA.
I forgot to do a bracket.
Oh, man, you got to get it filled out. I mean, it hasn't started yet. You still got time, Brett. And, Brett, I'll tell you
Will they sell the wood from all the floors for me to have in my in my memorabilia room.
You know, Brett,
I want a junk so badly.
It wouldn't surprise me if they did. That just seems like something the NBA would do. Maybe the winner, their home court, sell off.
Will they
pieces.
play One Shining Moment?
Well, that's a good question. Maybe we need to find a new song. One Shining Moment, that's kind of reserved for college basketball. We could find something to play and, have a montage of all the best clips of the in-season tournament. Have Draymond, choking out Rudy Gobert in there somewhere. It'd be a lot of fun. But it's set in the East. Bucks, Pacers, Celtics. The wild card in the East is the Knicks. In the West, Lakers, Kings, Pelicans. Their wild card, the Suns. And I'll be honest, I am busy a lot of times on Tuesdays, on Fridays. I haven't been able, outside of watching the Grizzlies play.
When are you not busy? No kidding, Johnny. When's Bryant not busy?
I'm a busy
always
person.
works.
But
always works.
I outside of just watching the Grizzlies in in-season tournament, last night was really the first night I was able to sit down and get locked in and watch an in-season tournament game between the Kings and the Warriors.
Great game.
Brett, I understand the hype now. Everyone who's been saying this in-season tournament is fun to watch if you actually sit down and watch it, I get it, because that game last night felt like a playoff game. Whatever team won, I believe, would have made it to the in-season tournament. So both teams were playing hard. The fans were into
and the
it.
Kings throwback unis were sweet,
unbelievable. So it was really fun, and I was really fired up for the in-season tournament. But the bracket's set. We'll see what it looks like with actual bracket format once they get. I think this first round of games will be played at home courts, and then the semifinals.
Do we do a bracket
will be played.
contest on air, Johnny?
I think we should.
I think we should too. I think it'd be
we'll
great.
Have to workshop that, Brett. But I'm curious. I really am curious to see what this looks like, how it plays out once these teams get to Las Vegas.
My top story: the Grizzlies need any old kind of win and a good effort, because the Grizzlies are in danger with their fickle fan base potentially checking out. The Grizz family, the Grizz fans, they were expecting a Western Conference Finals run over 22, 23, or 24. We know it didn't happen in 22 and 23, and it's not happening next spring. And instead have one playoff series win and now very much staring at a 60-loss season this year. This front office has destroyed the goodwill it had in this community. Tonight could be a night that the Boo Birds come out, and tonight could be a change. This one feels different tonight.
It really could be.
Not top story of the day.
Well, my not top story of the day, how about this? I'm sticking with NBA for both my top and my not top story of the day, because Mark Cuban made headlines yesterday. He's selling a majority stake in the franchise of the Dallas Mavericks to the Adelson family, which is a casino family with the Las Vegas Sands. And this is
Mino Publicans.
That's right. But this is not Mark Cuban saying, I'm done, I'm selling the team, I'm going to ride away in the sunset. No, he's still going to be extremely involved. Cuban still retains shares for the Mavericks and is going to stay in charge of basketball operations. And it even went as far to say Mark Cuban wants to partner with the Adelson family to build a new arena in Dallas with gambling operations attached. So, I mean,
gambling's not legal in Texas.
It's not legal in Texas, Brett. I don't know if Mark Cuban knows something I don't. I'm sure if you go to the state politicians and say, we have the shiny new stadium that, state of the art, think about this is just the start. You start with the Mavericks, think about America's team, the Dallas Cowboys. I mean, the ideas are limitless. So I'm sure he knows what he's doing, but very interesting to see those headlines yesterday from Mark Cuban.
It really is. Purchased the Mavericks from Donald Carter for $285. That was mind-blowing amount of money when he bought them.
Yeah.
I mean, it was hard to process $285 million for our NBA franchise in Dallas, Texas, and he's done a good job with it. My not top story, did we overvalue the Pac-12, and did that give a boost perception-wise to the rest of the college football season to the Pac-12? Remember in September when the narratives got set, USC was good and Caleb Williams was going to win back-to-back Heismans. He won't get 3 votes for the Heisman this year.
Yeah.
And then we had the Coach Prime phenomenon. And at the same time, the SEC wasn't doing very well, but it was doing well enough in that time that narrative was set that SEC West 6, that's Mississippi State, they beat Pac-12 number 3.
Yeah.
That's Arizona. Nobody remembers that. Oregon is not that much better than Texas.
No. They're not. And it's going to be fun to watch this all play out over the weekend. And then if we do have the slightest inch of chaos.
Washington wins, they're in.
Oh, absolutely.
Unarguable.
100%. So it's going to be a fun week. I'm really, really excited for these championship games. But that'll do it for top and not top story of the day. Let's go ahead and get to our first break of the day. When we come back, we'll talk a little bit about the SEC championship with Pat Smith.
We are real sports talk. Sports 56 WHBQ. Available on your radio dial at 560 AM and 98.5 FM, as well as around the world online at sports56whbq.com. Take us with you everywhere by downloading the Sports 56 app. And at home, just say, Alexa, play Sports 56. Wherever you are, stay tuned in to Real Sports Talk. Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
How's the Christmas shopping going? Yeah, that's what I thought. But Frontier Western Store will make it a lot easier. Everyone loves something from Frontier. They have thousands of coats, shirts, and boots. Outfit the entire family today. Looking for a Carhartt beanie? Frontier has every color they make. You'll find a whole wagon full of beanies. You'll also run into the largest selection anywhere of in-stock Carhartt and Ariat jackets and coats. They have endless aisles, an astounding collection at amazing prices. Don't forget the boots, work boots, and dress boots from Rocky, Dan Post, and especially Ariat. Frontier is the place to shop for name brand boots at the lowest prices every day. Way lower than chain stores and online. Thousands of boots in all sizes for men, women, and children. Not sure what to get? Frontier gift cards are always the right size, color, and price. Frontier Western Store, 5880 Goodman Road in Olive Branch, or shop online 24/7 at frontierwesternstore.com. Locally owned and operated since 1967.
Year-end means huge savings at Gossett Kia on the Pike with the season of giving back. How about 41 MPG for those holiday road trips? 2023 Kia Forte LXS, $229 a month, $27.99 due at signing. Family road trip, 2024 Kia Sportage LX with class-leading cargo room and rear seat legroom, $299 a month, $34.99 due at signing. And get where you're going for less in a 2023 Kia EV6 Wind, 134 City, 101 Highway MPGE, $379 a month, $49.99 due at signing, all 36-month lease. Plus a free charger with your EV purchase and Kia's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. Ask for Bobby J. He's ready to put you in a new Kia today. Gossett Kia, 1900 Covington Pike, or online, KiaCovingtonPike.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
All 36-month lease, $650 acquisition fee. Must finance through Hyundai. Forte LXS, PE 694,095, MSRP 21,610. Sportage R722, 7239, MSRP 28,715. EVP 560, 3393, MSRP 50,200. Includes all rebates and incentives. Excludes tax title and license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 11/30/2023 with approved credit. Dealer stock only.
Tease the season at Edwin Watts Golf Shops by Worldwide Golf for holiday specials this year. Featuring Titleist SM9 wedges tuned for precise contact, lower flight, and higher spin. Now $30 off. From Bushnell, the new Tour V6 Series laser rangefinders provide you the most accurate distances in golf. There's always gift cards in any amount for the special golfer you're shopping for. Don't miss the Edwin Watts Golf Shops holiday special. Edwin Watts Golf Shops, home of the 90-day satisfaction guarantee, and shop us in store or online at worldwidegolf.com.
It doesn't matter if you're at the lake, if you're hunting, fishing, playing golf, or just playing around, Scooters Plus can hook you up with the mobility that you need. Scooters Plus has the largest vehicle and parts inventory in the Mid-South and the best service department. You can choose from ATVs, UTVs, golf carts, motorcycles, dirt bikes, trikes, scooters, and even electric bikes. Come in today to start or wrap up your holiday shopping with 25% down on Christmas layaways. Scooters Plus, 3425 Summer Avenue. Call Sam at 458-8843 or go online to scootersplus.us.
Roofs, and more roofs. Chris Price here with Metro Builders. Is your roof leaking? Do you have mold stains on the ceiling of your home or business? Is your carrier denying your claim or offering a repair simply because they don't have enough documentation? You need a contractor that performs work for insurance claims for policyholders each and every day, and Metro Builders is here to assist. Call Metro Builders. At Metro Builders, we provide free estimates, consultation, and claim repairs. Metro Builders' process of arriving, inspecting, diagnosing problems, and estimating is second to none, commercial and residential. Residential. Our team of Hague-certified technicians are standing by to assist you with providing estimates and photos to your carrier to document your loss. All you owe is what your policy states. No large fees on top of the final scope. We use high-grade materials and are certified by companies like Atlas, CertainTeed, Owens Corning, and Mulehide with labor warranties up to 50 years on all of our jobs. Metro Builders provides roof repairs across the Mid-South. Call Metro Builders to schedule your inspection free. Call me. 901-375-1717. That's 901-375-1717.
All 36-month lease, $650 acquisition fee must finance through Hyundai. Forte LXS PE 694,095, MSRP 21,610. Sportage R722, 7239, MSRP 28,715. EVP 560, 3393, MSRP 50,200. Includes all rebates and incentives. Excludes tax title and license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 11/30/2023 with approved credit dealer stock only. Got Jeff Allen here from Gossett Kia, South Mount Moriah. Hey, Jeff, you ready for the holidays with the season of giving back?
I'm ready to give out some great holiday gifts and save you some big bucks. Perfect for the holiday road trips. 41 MPG Highway in a new 2023 Kia Forte LXS, $229 a month. $27.99 due at signing. Or a big family that needs more room? 2024 Kia Sportage LX with class-leading cargo room and rear seat leg room, $299 a month. $34.99 due at signing.
What about an EV?
2023 Kia EV6 Wind, 134 City, 101 Highway, MPGE, $379 a month. $49.99 due at signing. All 36-month lease.
Plus a free charger with your EV purchase and Kia's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty.
So whether you live in Horn Lake, South Haven, Olive Branch, or Memphis, you'll be happy at Gossett Kia on Mount Moriah.
Memphis music legends, the Bar-Kays, will be at this year's AutoZone Liberty Bowl, and you'll want to be there too. The Bar-Kays will be performing the music that made Memphis at the President's Gala on December 28th at the Peabody, and at halftime of the 65th AutoZone Liberty Bowl game on December 29th.
Everybody say, so big up.
Get your tickets today by calling the AutoZone Liberty Bowl at 795-7700. The Tennessee Highway Safety Office reminds you that fans don't let fans drive drunk.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. Here are your hosts, Brett Stats Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Welcome back into Sports Time. Bryant and Brett with you in our Family Leisure Studios. And joining us now from Jocks to talk a lot of SEC, Pat Smith joins us now. Pat, thanks so much for joining us. And I'm just curious, what did the text line, what did the phone line sound like, look like Monday morning after that Iron Bowl finish on Saturday?
Guys, always a pleasure to be with y'all. It was insane. It reminded me 10 years ago after the kick six.
Yeah.
It was that type of volume. It was unbelievable. It was a crazy game. Both fan bases, you had one that was about to be just absolutely decimated. They were going to be so upset by themselves because they should have beat a 6-5 Auburn team. And then all of a sudden they took the loss that was upcoming in the 4th and 31, and the fans had a new life taking on the Georgia Bulldogs this week.
Pat, if Auburn did not go on and win the national championship that year, they lost in the BCS championship game at the Rose Bowl Stadium to Florida State. I contend if Bama goes on and wins it all, that officially replaces kick six. That's the biggest play in Iron Bowl history and in college football history.
No doubt. There's no question about it, Brett. I agree with you 100%. And that's the thing that probably irritated the Auburn people more than anything is the fact that for so many years it was, Lane Kiffin's kick against Auburn in 1985. That's what everybody talked about. Then you had the Cam game back in 2010.
Van Tiffen. You said Lane Kiffin. Van Tiffin's kick.
I'm sorry.
That's
yes,
okay.
I meant Van Tiffen, not Lane Kiffin. Van Tiffen. And so that was in 85. And then you had, of course, Cam's comeback at Bryant Denny in 2010. Then you had the kick six. And then now the 4th and 31. I mean, the T-shirts that you see around Metro Birmingham, it's pretty amazing.
Daniel Moore can get the paintbrushes wet, can't he? He can get another mural ready.
He is ready to go. I've already gotten an email. The station has that, yes, Daniel Moore is absolutely commissioning a 4th and 31.
Now, if Bama doesn't go on and win this weekend, be the SEC champions, then it's just a really good win. Paint me the most realistic Bama scenario to be in the college football Final Four.
Well, we have been trying to make our audience understand the last 3 weeks that we potentially was going down this road. Now, we didn't believe that the craziness at Jordan-Hare Stadium was going to take until the final play that Alabama had football for them to win it. So we were assuming the whole time that they were going to win against Auburn. We kept waiting for chaos. Chaos has not happened. You know, there were 6 things that needed to happen last weekend that potentially would have put Alabama in the best position going into the SEC championship game. Well, out of those 6 things, 3 of them did not take place. 3 of them are still on the board for this weekend. And based on what you saw last night in the college football playoff rankings, it doesn't appear that Alabama is in good shape if those 3 things go ahead and happen. The best scenario for Alabama, you got to get Texas out of there because the committee has told you from the get-go, head-to-head is very, very important. I have just been amazed that Oregon, with one top 25 win, continues to be ahead of Texas and Alabama. That has blown my mind from the get-go. Forget about the fact of Alabama potentially playing in the college football playoff. I'm just talking about the current rankings. If I'm in Austin, Texas, I'm pretty pissed off today, okay? Because you look at the resume of what they did against Texas Tech and beating them by 50 points. Oregon beats Texas Tech by 8 points. They have to get a failed 2-point conversion and a pick 6 to beat the Red Raiders by 8 points. Meanwhile, Texas beats them by 50. And Oregon, according to the committee, and their 78% percentage of completion for Bo Nix, that is taking precedence over the Texas Longhorns and the Alabama Crimson Tide. But Alabama needs Texas to lose. Yeah. It wouldn't hurt for Louisville to beat Florida State. Those are just 2 little items. The list goes on and on. It's a very big uphill for Alabama to climb.
Yeah, it absolutely is, and I'm with you on Oregon. I've not bought into the Oregon hype all season, but
the Bodacious campaign worked.
It worked, and it's rubbed me the wrong way. I can't stand the Bodacious.
And it might as well have been Young and Rubicon and marketing firms in New York writing it.
Well, hey, think about this, guys. Think about Washington. So Washington has won every single game that they have played this year, including beating Oregon, okay? They are an underdog this week by 10 points to Oregon. And nobody has had a conversation about, well, what if Oregon beats Washington? Could Washington find itself in a conversation, maybe 2 Pac-12 teams in the Final Four? There's no conversation of that. No respect whatsoever for the Washington Huskies.
It's like Pat's reading my mind.
That's accurate, Pat. Now tell me, whether it's host in the great building that makes up jocks or listeners or callers or pundits or guests you have on, can a fair-minded person really make the case if Texas wins and they're Big 12 champions and Alabama wins but there's only 1 spot left? Has anybody really fair-minded made the case that Bama should be in over Texas?
Fair-minded? No. Typical fandom, they will tell you, because we're so used to this from the BCS era and the college football playoff, it's the SEC, and Alabama would have on its resume the best win, including Texas beating Alabama before. I know that would trump that because they would have beaten Alabama the second week of the season. But for those type of Alabama fans that are still trying to put themselves in a position to get into the college football playoff, they're going to tell you that the Georgia win against a team that's won 29 games in a row, you play in Atlanta, and you're a 6.5-point underdog, and you beat Georgia, and you're the SEC champion, you should have a seat at the table. That's what, not the majority of fans, but a good bit of the fans that call in and communicate with us on a daily basis, that would be their excuse, or that would be their defense of Alabama being put in.
Pat, what have you made of the improvements from Jalen Milroe this year? I mean, I remember having the conversations early in the season, before the season, about Jalen Milroe, and obviously everyone talking about him after that throw in the game of Auburn. But this season as a whole, what have you made of what Jalen Milroe's done?
Well, what he's been able to do, and I think it's kind of twofold. I think it's taken Tommy Rees a little bit of time to understand the personnel. You know, he came in, it was going to be, we kept hearing, okay, it's going to be a lot of 12 personnel, going to utilize the tight end, and they do. But I also think it was time for some of these wide receivers to kind of step up. Jermaine Burton has had a great season. He didn't have a great season last year. He's been one of Jalen Milroe's go-to guys. Isaiah Bond, who caught the pass at Jordan-Hare Stadium, he's been a big playmaker, been a guy that they've been able to go to. Malik Benson, he was the number 1 junior college wide receiver last year coming out. His first year at Alabama, he's been a big key to that wide receiver success. It's just been about confidence, and they finally kind of let him loose running the football. We always thought, that Bryce Young would have been a better running quarterback, but, Bryce didn't venture out from the pocket too much.
And he'd dip it out of bounds. He was taught to.
Yeah, exactly. So he didn't do a lot of running. And I think finally they understood that, we have got a tremendous athlete here who can throw the deep ball as well as anybody in the country, including Jaden Daniels. But you also have a guy that is the quickest fella that we have on the team. Let's utilize that. And I think once we got to November and those certain games, whether it was the second half of the Tennessee game, the LSU game, they knew that they were going to have to outscore LSU in that dynamic offense. The confidence started growing. The play calling started playing to his strengths. And let's just be honest, as long as he does not turn the ball over, and he hasn't done that of late, that's going to be a big key to their success potentially against Georgia. If he takes care of the football, doesn't throw an interception, doesn't fumble while he's trying to run out of the pocket, then Alabama could be in a good position to make this a ball game in the fourth quarter.
So, Pat, what do you expect to happen Saturday night in that championship game?
Well, I'll tell you one thing. This is a very good Georgia defense. I know they're number one in the SEC. Bama's number 3 in total defense in the SEC. This is going to be a heavyweight. This is going to be a dogfight in the trenches, no doubt about it. But this is not the impeccable type defense that we've seen from Georgia in years past. Is it good? It's an outstanding defense. But keep in mind, a couple of years ago, this defense was the best proclaimed in college football, and what ended up happening? It turned out to be an SEC shootout, and the Alabama Crimson Tide walk out of there with a win. I foresee this game to be maybe in the high 20s, maybe low 30s. It is going to be, I think it's Georgia wins a close one, but this is going to be one for the ages. I think it's going to be an outstanding SEC championship game, but I think Georgia does enough to beat Alabama.
Yeah, and they've had some epics in some, just fiercely competed games. But in this Georgia dynasty, they've only beat the Mighty Tide once.
That's correct. That's right. And keep in mind, Nick Saban has never lost in Mercedes-Benz Stadium, and since he's been the head coach at Alabama, he's lost in Atlanta one time. So Just keep that in mind.
Wow. Well, it's going to be a fun game on Saturday, that's for sure. But, Pat, thanks so much for joining us, and let's do this again soon.
Absolutely, guys. Have a great afternoon.
Thank you, Pat. Thank you so much, Pat Smith, with us from down in Birmingham at Jocks. And I bet they didn't get in a lot of Clemson-Bama basketball talk from last night. Down there today. Caller on line 212. We'll get to you on the Clemson Alabama game.
Caller, what do you want to talk about? Oh, man, what did you think about Alabama last night? Okay, drop. Yep, man, we're talking football right now.
I know a lot of people that really enjoyed the Ghouls gift cards and the Cyber Friday or Black Friday and Cyber Monday sales, and you can get those Ghouls gift cards for the holidays for that someone special in your life. All you bosses out there, you're thinking about the right kind of gift. I know Christmas bonuses have kind of went the way of the 20th century, but you can still get something for your employees, and that Ghouls gift card would be the perfect one, the perfect size, the perfect color. The perfect gift for the holidays. Gould Salon and Spa, they've been turning heads since 1932. It started with Mr. Sam Gould with his dream to provide his clientele with a truly professional and unique fashion experience, and it's been realized as a family affair with sons and grandsons and granddaughters, valuable associates from a small hair salon to today's juggernaut. There's been a lot of Christmases enjoyed and holiday seasons enjoyed with people going to Gould's, and there's never a Gould's far away. All the locations from downtown to way out east to Collierville, go to GouldSalonSpa.com and purchase your gift card there. It's a commitment to providing a unique fashion-forward experience. Over 90 years of distinction. It's really exclusive to our area and the best holiday gift for any seasons at Gould's gift card. The best spa packages, salon products, and those gift cards, they're the hit. From Big Cypress Spa to Collierville and Park Place to Overton Square, get in style at Gould's.
Well, let's go ahead and get to a break. When we come back, Brett, I'm excited. Time to get the grade books out. We got to get to our final grades for the SEC and the Tigers. We'll do that next on Sports Time.
Add a little fun to your lunch break. Join Johnny Radio for Sports 56 Happy Hour from 11 to 1 every weekday on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
How long has it been since you heard the term being overstocked? Well, it's happened at Family Leisure. Yep. That means you get the savings, like select patio sets that are up to 50% off. If you need a play gym, you're in luck because they're also overstocked and start at under $2,000. Pool tables and game room items up to $700 off of in-stock items. Saunas, massage chairs, arcades, even theater seating. Special financing is available with free delivery. Family Leisure is extending sale pricing on all in-stock hot tubs and swim spas. And if you need supplies to close up your pool for the winter, Family Leisure has them up to 30% off. It's been a while since you've heard of an overstock sale, but Family Leisure is right in the middle of one. Huge deals and a huge overstocked inventory. That means great savings for you. It's happening now at Family Leisure, Whitten Road at I-40, where family and fun come together.
Hi, this is Troy Fiveash, owner of Fiveash Roof Services. If you need a new roof for your home or business, we hope to hear from you and will work hard to earn your business. We are experts and certified in residential and commercial roofing, siding, and gutter installation. I have been serving the Memphis area for over 20 years, and now with two of my sons working with me, we plan to be here for years to come. So if you need a roof, please give us a call. On a personal note, what a great time it is to be a Memphis sports fan. With the Grizzlies and the Redbirds and 901 FC, not to mention Tigers football and basketball, it's going to be a fun year. Thanks to Coach Silverfield and Coach Hardaway and their staffs for their dedication to the student and athletes, the University of Memphis, the City of Memphis, and us fans. Five Ash Roof Services, a proud partner of the Memphis Tigers and the official roofer of the Tigers home team. Five Ash Roofing, fair, honest, and ethical. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
Five Ash Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
Let's end this year with a bang with Gossett Mitsubishi's Mitsubishi Motors year-end sales event. You want huge savings? We Gossett. The awards keep coming for the world's first and best-selling plug-in hybrid SUV. 2023 Mitsubishi Outlander PHEV, 420 total range and PGE. We Gossett at $299.96 a month. Plus, 2024 Mitsubishi Outlander Sport, buy for $26,850 or $379 a month. Plus, IIHS top safety pick in seat 7. 2024 Mitsubishi Outlander, $32,185 or $399 a month. All equipped with Mitsubishi's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. You want it, we Gossett. Gossett Mitsubishi, 1870 Covington Pike, or 24/7 at memphismitsubishi.com.
If you want it, we Gossett at Gossett Motor Cars.
PHEV PZ062,303, MSRP 44,355, 84 months, 500 military and conquest or loyalty rebate. Outlander RZ 006545, MSRP 33,185. Sport RU 001,004, MSRP 27,850. Includes all rebates and incentives. PF 695 excludes tax, title, and license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through end of the month with approved credit. Dealer stock only.
Hi, this is Lauren Choate with Choate's Air Conditioning, Heating, and Plumbing. Fall is in the air, and so are Choate's Early Bird Specials. Right now, receive $1,000 off the purchase of a new Carrier gas furnace. Carrier furnaces come with some of the best warranties in the industry, and Choate's has been professionally installing them for over 60 years. As a Carrier factory authorized dealer, Choate's also offers competitive financing solutions for you and your family. If your heating system is in good shape, make sure you take advantage of Choate's Early Bird Tune-Up Special for $60. This tune-up is an in-depth 20-point inspection to make sure your furnace is ready for the winter season ahead. So call 347-8086 to schedule your Early Bird Special today. And turn to the experts with Choate's and let our family serve your family.
This holiday season, give the gift of Gould's with a Gould's gift card for someone you love. It's the perfect gift for everyone. The Gould's gift card doesn't just send wishes, it grants them in store and online. Just come to any Gould's and pick up a gift card or go to GouldSalonSpa.com to purchase online. That's GouldSalonSpa.com. Happy holidays from Gould's. Gould's Salon Spa, locally owned and operated since 1932.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. Here are your hosts, Brett Stats Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
All right, Brett, it's time. I got my Got my pen out. It's time for our final grades for the SEC and the Tigers.
Did you have the best teacher in your house help y'all out?
Yeah, I was like, Ma, I need some pointers on how to grade. I don't know how to do gradings. Yeah, and she.
We want yours.
She wasn't as tough.
Does she go pluses and minuses?
Oh yeah. Oh, she's a plus minus.
But in a grade point in a college world, there's not. I mean, it's simple.
Yeah.
If it's still like this,
it's still like that.
Okay. A 3-hour class times 4, 12 points.
That's right. So
pretty simple, isn't it, Johnny?
Simple.
I'm with it. The no pluses or minuses.
Johnny, I got to tell you, in the day when I was in school, you know how we check grades?
How?
We would go like outside the teacher's office or maybe even where the class was held.
Yeah.
And they were all up there corresponding with our Social Security number. 600 Social Security numbers up
Johnny,
there
times
for every
changed.
rando in the world to get.
That's right. Times have changed,
That's
Brett.
crazy,
And
man.
I'm up there, and a lot of them, we're all the same age, so they all kind of started with it, especially the first 2 numbers.
Yes.
Exactly. So I'm looking for those last 4, and one time I said, why'd I even start at the top? Just work at the bottom up.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Times have changed, Brett. Now,
Alphabetically SEC. Or you want to do the Tigers first?
Hey, your call, Brett.
Tigers, I give A. Unblinking.
I will also give them... I'll give them a B.
Okay.
I'll give them a B, but you could very easily swing me to an A. I think the defense at times was a little disappointing.
Not a defensive league.
No, and you're certainly
not
right.
really a defensive era in college football.
It's not. It's
really
not.
I think some of those games that really shouldn't have been close were a little closer than I wanted them to be. But
a W.
A very strong B.
Pass the test. Okay, they had to cram. They had to stay up late studying.
Right.
Pour the coffee in.
But you pass it, and not just a passing with a C, it's passing with a B. And Brett, if I was going plus or minuses, it might be an A minus, it might be a B plus, but we can't do that. So
yeah, we can. We can do what we want to. SEC alphabetically, Alabama A.
Yeah, you got to give Alabama an A, especially with how the season started and where they are now. 100% an A.
Arkansas, after September it was this, after October it was this. Final grade F.
Yeah, it was an F. I mean, it's can't give them any better.
No,
it's rough.
Auburn.
Oh, I will give Auburn a C.
I will too.
I like that.
Finished horribly.
Yes.
They flunked the final exam.
Sure
Yeah,
did.
they flunked.
New Mexico State, and then the heartbreak of Saturday. But it was about where we thought year 1 for Hugh Freeze on the Plains, how it would look.
I mean, I think Auburn getting bowl eligible in year 1 is a success. I don't know if it's a huge success, but it's a success, and so I'll give them a C.
Florida F.
Florida is an F, yes.
Georgia A.
Georgia, obviously, an A.
Kentucky.
Absolutely. Kentucky, I'm going to give Kentucky a C.
I am too, and they rattled on that final.
I was about to say, that win against Louisville might have.
They went into that final needing to make a 85 north on the final to get the last C.
Brett, been there. I mean, been there.
Been there with more dramatics than that.
I'm sure, yes. Been there multiple times, Brett.
Went into a final, I needed to make a 100 to get the last C.
Wow, that's impressive.
Made a 100.
Wow, how about that?
It was with some chicanery, but
I like it, Brett. I like it.
Yeah, well, it happens.
It was still 100. LSU.
LSU, a B.
It's a B.
A very iffy B, I think.
It's a B.
Yeah.
Now Jaden Daniels
is an A plus.
Is an A plus
yes.
into infinity.
Highest in the class, but yeah, I mean some of those losses, but I'll give him a B. Ole Miss. Ole Miss, I'll give an A. I will. I've been very impressed.
You had 6-6. I had 7-5 preseason.
Yeah.
10-2.
Those 2 losses being the 2 teams on the road at the 2 teams playing the SEC championship game. I'll give them an A.
And material wise, and this is not a shot at anyone. It's just a fact. LSU, if they could take 3 players off Ole Miss, that'd be about the limit to it.
Yeah, I think
A&M about the same, maybe 5.
Maybe.
It's just material, just better.
Yeah.
And Lane Kiffin, I think Lane Kiffin's a better coach than Brian Kelly or Jimbo.
I think one of his better coaching jobs this year in what he did with this team.
Underpaid for the job he's done this year and at Ole Miss. Mississippi State.
Oh, Mississippi State. I'm gonna have to give a D.
I am too, and there's a lot of factors around it. And
I don't like giving them a D.
I'm not going to give them a D. I'm going to give them a C for a gentleman's C for everything they went through and that great win over Arizona. Mizzou, A.
Yeah, Missouri. I mean, maybe the best grade of everybody.
Eli Drinkwitz, Coach of the Year.
It got to be.
And that big three, they performed every week. And that kicker, that kick made against Kansas State, essentially will get them in over Ole Miss.
That's absolutely right.
Into a New Year's Six game.
And Brett, that's another one of those games that happened at the beginning of the season.
And I was rooting for him to make it that day. I didn't know I needed him to miss it for me to go to a Cotton Bowl.
Yeah, but Brett, I mean, that's another one of those games that a lot of people forget and how important that was. Way early in the season, just like with Mississippi State and Arizona, people forget that game.
Mizzou's win over the Memphis Tigers was huge.
It was huge, absolutely.
South Carolina, C.
I'm going to give him a D, Brett. Close to giving him an F. I mean, everything I've been promised for years about this about this South Carolina team and this turnaround, and then not to get bowl eligible. I'm giving him a D.
I like you, Brian. I like
Thank you.
Solid D.
Thank you.
Tennessee.
C.
I think that's being kind.
I think it is.
What do you think, Brett?
The expectations were. I had them 11-1 in the SEC championship game. And we've now learned. Now, Joe Milton was at Michigan with Jim Harbaugh, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Jim Harbaugh nor Josh Heupel could get Joe Milton worked out. That means it can't be worked out.
That's true. That's true.
That's saying something. Yeah. No, I'll give him a C just for.
I'll give him a C. A&M F.
A&M is a big old F.
Big F.
Yep.
Big F, and you knew from losing to the U week 2 to barely won by 12, but that Arkansas game much closer than that. Up at Tennessee, they lost a 1970s type game.
Yeah, no, it was. I mean, I think any team that fires their head coach, I'm going to give them a really.
And Vandy, the only time the word F gets associated with Vandy is. Football grades.
If anybody heard a slight delay in my response when we were talking about Texas A&M, I was looking at Vandy and going, how is this going to work? How are you going to give a terrible grade to a school like Vandy?
Expectation.
That's very true. That's very true. But
wasn't much expected from Vandy, and good thing they didn't deliver.
Yeah, how many times?
A lot was expected from A&M, and they didn't give much more.
How many times has the school Vandy been put with an F in anything? I mean,
I don't even think you stay in school there. If they
get one F and they say, hey, this school might not be for you.
And there's no 5-year plan at Vandy. You get it done in 8 semesters and move right along.
I'm gonna give him a D though. 2 wins, give him a D. It's not much better than.
I saw one of the 2 wins.
Brett, you can say you were there. I mean,
on a rainy, thundery, lightning Saturday night against Hawaii.
Now they don't have a quarterback. So
did I ever tell you? I know we're running close on time. Like at Ole Miss, like if an Ole Miss fan runs in, if you're in Tiananmen Square and you run it, you see somebody with Ole Miss, you hotty toddy, Alabama, roll tide. You know what they say at Hawaii?
At Hawaii?
I don't know. When 2 Hawaii fans encounter each other,
loose? I don't know.
Go Bows.
Go Bows.
They sure do.
Brett again dropping knowledge.
Go Bows. I'm going to have to hit some people with a Go Bows next time I see anybody that knows. If I know anybody that has any tie to
Auburn
Hawaii.
War Eagle.
Right.
That's their rejoinder.
Right. There's plenty of them, but Go Bows. I didn't see that one coming. Interesting. All right, well, that's our final grades for the season for the SEC teams, for the Tigers. We want your grades. Any team, maybe the team you're a fan of, or just any grades you have on a team. Grades that you disagree, grades you agree with us, send those in 901-360-8255. I'd love to hear what y'all think. Let's go ahead, wrap up this hour. When we come back, we'll talk some more college football with David Combe.
At Genesis Diamonds, we're rolling back prices and finance rates so you can get that special someone the most special gift ever. Maybe it's that pair of diamond earrings, or that all-new designer fashion bracelet, or that dazzling 2-carat diamond ring. It's all more affordable because at Genesis, we've got special pricing across the board and 0 interest for 5 years. So you can get that $3,000 diamond pendant and pay just $50 a month, or that $6,000 eternity band for just $100 a month. Everything's included in this amazing holiday offer. All our GIA-certified natural diamonds and all our lab-grown diamonds, even all our luxury pre-owned Rolex watches. Imagine that $50 $15,000 Rolex for just $250 a month. You can even finance the sales tax. Don't let talk of rising prices and high interest rates dampen your holiday spirit. At Genesis, we're lowering prices and taking interest rates down to zero. Get that headliner gift they deserve and make your money go farther than ever. Merry Christmas from Genesis Diamonds at Poplar and Perkins Extended on approved credit.
Let's end this year with a bang with Gossett Mitsubishi's Mitsubishi Motors year-end sales event. You want huge savings? We Gossett. The awards keep coming for the world's first and best-selling plug-in hybrid SUV. 2023 Mitsubishi Outlander PHEV. 420 total range and PGE. We Gossett at $299.96 a month. Plus, 2024 Mitsubishi Outlander Sport. Buy for $26,850 or $379 a month. Plus, IIHS top safety pick in seat 7. 2024 Mitsubishi Outlander. $32,185 or $399 a month. All equipped with Mitsubishi's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. You want it, we Gossett. Gossett Mitsubishi, 1870 Covington Pike, or 24/7 at MemphisMitsubishi.com.
If you want it, we Gossett at Gossett Motor Cars.
PHEV PZ062,303 MSRP 44,355 84 months 500 military and conquest or loyalty rebate. Outlander RZ 006545 MSRP 33,185 Sport RU 001,004 MSRP 27,850 includes all rebates and incentives. PF 695 excludes tax title and license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through end of the month with approved credit. Dealer stock only.
Did you know nearly 40% of men under 40 and over 75% of men over the age of 40 experience sexual performance concerns? At the Memphis Men's Clinic, their experienced physician performs a comprehensive evaluation that determines which specific issues may interfere with your sexual performance. These issues can vary and range from anxiety to medical issues, low testosterone, or erectile dysfunction. The Memphis Men's Clinic has evaluated hundreds of men of all ages over the years and reestablished a normal sexual life. The Memphis Men's Clinic will work aggressively to resolve issues and allow you to restore your sexual health and overall well-being. That's the Memphis way. If you're 20 years old or 90 years old, come and get cared for the Memphis way. Treatment that's based on your specific needs after a professional clinical evaluation by their experienced board-certified physician. Call the Memphis Men's Clinic today at 901-443-0475 or visit memphismensclinic.com.
I know we say it all the time. Bell Tavern, Memphis's perfect downtown bar, is not a sports bar. It's a bar that happens to have sports on the high-def TVs. You know what a great bar Bell Tavern is. You know how great the signature cocktails are. You know how amazing the food is. And all that is what makes Bell Tavern such a great bar. But what sports we have on those TVs this month? If you love college basketball, the NFL, the Grizzlies, and college football, well, for this month, you can pretend Bell Tavern is a sports bar. A very civilized sports bar.
Roofs, roofs, and more roofs. Chris Price here with Metro Builders. Is your roof leaking? Do you have mold stains on the ceiling of your home or business? Is your carrier denying your claim or offering a repair simply because they don't have enough documentation? You need a contractor that performs work for insurance claims for policyholders each and every day, and Metro Builders is here to assist. Call Metro Builders. At Metro Builders, we provide free estimates, consultation, and claim repairs. Metro Builders' process of arriving, inspecting, diagnosing problems, and estimating is second to none, commercial and residential. Our team of Hague-certified technicians are standing by to assist you with providing estimates and photos to your carrier to document your loss. All you owe is what your policy states. No large fees on top of the final scope. We use high-grade materials and are certified by companies like Atlas, CertainTeed, Owens Corning, and Mulehide with labor warranties up to 50 years on all of our jobs. Metro Builders provides roof repairs across the Mid-South. Call Metro Builders to schedule your inspection free. Call me. 901-375-1717. That's 901-375-1717.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253 DF Memphis, Flynn Broadcasting Stations. We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253 DF Memphis, Flynn Broadcasting Stations.
College football talk as David Cohn, the co-host of Crane & Company with Jake Crane, joins Bryant, Brett, and Jay Morgan, a college quarterback at Michigan, a tall man that's on Twitter at David Adam Cohn. Here's David with Bryant and Brett.
Well, David Cohn joins us now, co-host of Crane & Company, joins us at this time every week to talk college football, and we got a lot to talk to with David, a lot going on in college football. David, thanks so much for joining us. How was the Thanksgiving for you and your family?
Everything is fantastic, fellas. Thanks so much for having me on. We had a wonderful Thanksgiving. We had
it's just a lot of emotions in the household, fellas, because I was at the in-laws, Mr. Richard Todd, and after a big win by Michigan, followed up by just an unbelievable game in the Iron Bowl there and an Alabama win. The whole household was just through the roof. And now today, we get a movie premiere for a film that I got to act in 6 months ago that we're about to celebrate here in 2.5 hours. So it's been quite the week for sure.
You have been very busy, and I bet at the Cone Tide celebration with you and Darby and your crew, it was happy. I know you were proud of the Wolverines and what they did. So many people have said this year's best win was Texas winning at Bama. Okay, I'll say that's the best road win, but Michigan having to almost play perfect, and they did, beating Ohio State was very impressive.
Yeah, I think it's the biggest win in the history of the program. Now, you'll have to talk to an actual Michigan football historian to really get someone to weigh in on that. My affiliation with the program goes back 17 years at this point. When I grew up in South Georgia, Michigan offered me a scholarship, and I went up there and played. But what you have to understand is, year after year, losing to the Buckeyes, and when Rich Rodriguez came in my junior year, it was the bottom of the barrel for the Michigan football program. And watching the Buckeyes be the gold standard in the conference was really tough to bear. Season after season, as Michigan tried to get back on top, and they hired Jim Harbaugh, but all of a sudden, Ohio gets Urban Meyer, who goes 7-0 in that game, and it was like, man, we got the guy we needed. We got Jim Harbaugh, and we still can't get over this hump. Mm-hmm. And then to watch the way the program has turned around with 3 years in a row now, huge wins, which every year for the past 3 years I've been at the Todd residence. So I think really it's my good luck and my good fortune that's turned it around. But either way, as if that game's not big enough already as one of the greatest rivalries in sports, you add 3 straight years that they've met as top 5 opponents. You add 2 straight years that they've met undefeated. And as if all that's not enough, on top of it, you have one side saying, well, the only reason you beat us the last 2 years is because you're cheaters and you stole our signs, or you had some intricate system for signal stealing. All of that added up to saying, hey, if Michigan can win this football game, it puts all of the rest of that to bed, because there's no more excuses. There's no more excuses, and it also gets rid of this talk about Michigan hasn't played anyone all season, which was true. I was very disappointed in Michigan's non-conference schedule, but they beat 2 top 10 teams in the last 3 weeks. I think they deserve to be in that number 2 spot. I still have Georgia at number 1, even though for people who are putting Michigan at number 1 in the college football playoff, I can understand that too. Georgia just, to me, looks like they have solidified that top spot. And then from there, boys, I mean, we really have 8 teams right now. We have 8 teams that could really go win this thing. It's a little bit weird with Florida State starting quarterback out, but they're undefeated. And all you can do is win all the games you play.
That's it, David. Other than Georgia, who's the team you don't want Michigan to run into in the semis or the finals?
Man, it's a really great question, because I'm looking at these 4 one-loss teams here. I looked at it for an hour straight yesterday between Oregon and Texas and Ohio State and Alabama, and I put them in every single order that I possibly could to see what sits right with me. If you got strength of schedule, obviously Alabama would be at the top and Texas would be next. If you go with worst loss, Alabama's at the bottom of that, because they're the only one of the 4 who lost at home and by double digits. So there's no order that's going to make everyone happy. Who's the team that you would least want to play outside of Michigan and Georgia? I think really you have to say Alabama, just because of what Nick Saban has proven to do year after year. Now, if it was just in a vacuum and you show me these programs, I'm looking at this Oregon football team and I'm thinking, wow, they're as balanced as they come. Dan Lanning is a Kirby Smart protege. He's an SEC disciple. They got Bo Nix, who just he's right now he's second on the board for me in the Heisman Trophy. They look as good as it gets. They have a really hard fought road loss to a rival on the last possession when they lost to Washington. Like, that's as good as it gets. I think Texas is right there with them as well. But with Alabama, with what Jalen Milroe is able to do, not only from outside the pocket, but what he's proven to be able to do within the pocket for the last half of the season, you put Nick Saban on a sideline, everyone's going to be scared to play him.
Tell me, David, your father-in-law, the great Richard Todd, was he a freshman at Bama in 72 or 73?
Ooh, 70. You know what? He's actually about to walk in here in about 3 minutes, so I can ask him while we're live, to be honest with you.
I think he was a freshman in 72, and that was for the Bama side, the indignity of Bama punt. In Birmingham at Legion Field, David Langer with 2 block punts late in the game off of Greg Gant's toe for Auburn to win. I don't know if Saturday pacified
Brett,
that.
hold on one second.
Okay.
Mr. Richard, what year were you a freshman, 72 or 73? 72. 72. All right, you're live on the radio here. Sorry about that.
Hey, Richard
All right,
Todd.
he was a freshman in 72.
So that's punt, Bama punt. So he had to go through that. That had to feel mighty good to him Saturday night about 6 o'clock.
Yeah, I'm just telling you, it was a week full of emotions, man. And I tell you, the last 3 years after Thanksgiving, he's cheered me and my boys on, and very intense matchups there against the Buckeyes, and then to watch Alabama pull it out in that fashion. And look, Auburn gave them all they could handle. I think they're going to be just fine under Hugh Freeze. I still think he's the right guy. And I think my co-host Jake Crane, what he said all week is that, look, Auburn has to figure out, they have to find out how to win, right? Yeah, sure, you got to get the right personnel in, and Alabama's had, the benefit of stacking these recruiting classes on top of each other and all that. But at some point, it just comes down to you either win those games when you're up and you catch those punts and you don't give up 4th and 31s, or you lose those games. And Auburn has to figure out a way to win those moving forward.
Or you get punts blocked, or you give up kick 6, and it hurts forever.
Exactly.
But on the other side, it feels real good.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And for Alabama, I don't put a whole lot of stock into. I don't penalize them a whole lot with how closely Auburn played them, right? Because that's the Iron Bowl. That's one of the greatest rivalries we have in sports. Of course, Auburn's supposed to play them close in Jordan-Hare as well. That game is it's supposed to be close. Now, a couple things that I think you can take from the game is that Auburn was able to make Jalen Monroe get off that first read. In the second half, he started to get a little bit shaky. Some of the sort of deer in headlights things we saw from him really early in the season, you could see Auburn was making him do that. But when it mattered most, 4th and 31, when they rush 2, drop 9, what does he do? He throws an absolute dime. I mean, that ball was perfect. You can criticize Auburn's defense, and we can talk about the schematics of it all we want. He put it on a rope in the back of the end zone. It was a beautiful throw. So, I think Alabama is same with Georgia and Georgia Tech, right? Like the week before you're going in and playing, you already know who you're slated to play in the SEC championship game. I wasn't surprised at all that both of those games were close with in-state rivals, right? And I think the matchup that we're going to get here with Georgia and Alabama, with all the parity we've seen all season long, all of these great teams, and what does it come down to? Once again, for the SEC, it comes down to Kirby Smart and Nick Saban going at it, battling each other in Atlanta, where Nick Saban is undefeated in Mercedes-Benz, and it could end up being the de facto national championship once again. And that just speaks to what kind of programs these guys have built.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned the throw by Jalen Milroe, because I feel like a lot that has been overshadowed a lot because everyone wants to immediately talk about Auburn's defense and the lack of pressure, and they did this wrong and that wrong. I mean, at the end of the day, it was an unbelievable throw by Jalen Milroe to even have that opportunity. So I'm so happy that you brought that up. But at the end of the day, I want to go back to this Oregon and Washington game that you were talking about earlier with Oregon. I know Oregon's playing much better right now and is winning games very convincingly, and Washington maybe the opposite way, winning games a little more difficultly than Oregon. But David, I got to tell you, I'm surprised that the line is hovering around 9.5, 10 for this game in favor of Oregon.
Shocking. It's absolutely shocking. And look, Oregon could beat them by 10 points. Of course they could. There's a reason Vegas builds all those big hotels. They know what they're talking about. And full disclosure,
but you were going to break those hotels for us, David. Come on.
Yeah, I was. I went out there. I waged war on the house. They won the battle, but I'm still going to wage war next time I'm out there with Dana White. Shout out to our boy Dana White. And full disclosure, I have very close buddies on the Washington staff. I picked Washington to make the college football playoff. I think I was one of the only people in our business who did that, and for good reason, because I know what Michael Penix Jr. is capable of when he stays healthy, which he has, and they have three NFL wide receivers on that team, guys. I mean, it's so tough to cover two great wide receivers at the college level. They have three when you start talking about Odunze, McMillan, and Polk. Now, were they going to be balanced enough, and was the defense going to be improved enough for Washington to, win out the regular season? That was the big question. And look, they have. And they had the benefit of getting Oregon at home, and they had the benefit of the reigning Heisman Trophy winner and Caleb Williams at USC being down this year. But still, they won all the games that they were supposed to play. Now, I see what everyone else is seeing. I see Oregon playing better and better and better after that loss, and I see Washington not playing quite as good after they beat Oregon. But you know what? They won all the games that they're supposed to win, and now we get a rematch. We thought we might get a Texas-Oklahoma Red River shootout rematch in the Big 12. We're not going to get that one, but we do get the Oregon-Washington rematch in the Pac-12. I was shocked by the 9.5. I think we're going to be in for an incredible football game. I hope everyone stays healthy. I think both of these quarterbacks are going to surpass 4,000 yards on the season in this game, which is just incredible. And I hope we get an old-school showdown, man. Bo Nix against Michael Penix Jr. And, if Washington wins, they're in for sure. If Oregon wins, it's going to be really, really tough to keep them out. But then again, if Alabama beats Georgia, there's going to be a whole lot of one-loss teams there saying, hey, we deserve that spot.
Who do you think are the best 4 rosters in the country?
Yeah, look, you have to say Georgia and Michigan. I think that's a reason a lot of people had them 1 and 2, despite the weak strength of schedule. And then I really think you have to look at Texas and Alabama. Florida State is as good as it gets too. When
Ohio State's roster is pretty sporty.
And they always are. And think about it; it got worse. I mean, this is one of the things that made me laugh when I was hearing Ryan Day talk about competitive advantage or whatever. I'm like, think about what you've had the last couple years. C.J. Stroud's tearing it up in the NFL right now, and yet Garrett Wilson and Chris Olave and all these great players, Jackson Smith and Jigba, all at the same time. Like, Ohio State just reloads. That's all they do. Alabama just reloads. There's a couple programs that are new to this, I think, this season, which is Texas, which is really great to see the roster that Steve Sarkisian has built, because everyone was looking at it, and Jake Crane and I talked about it all off season, like, man, this Texas roster, and Florida State too, this Florida State roster, when they got Keon Coleman, and they had Johnny Wilson and Jared Verse and all these guys, like, both of these rosters are really, really good. Is this the actual time for, like, Texas to get back over that hump, or for Florida State to get over that hump? And now, look, both of them have. So I think that those rosters are as good as it gets. Obviously, Florida State is going to be hampered here a bit without having Jordan Travis, who's just such an incredible playmaker. Yeah. Now, the Tate Rodemaker kid, he can play, right? Like, he was one of Mike Norvell's first recruits, I believe, for good reason. But when you ask who are the best rosters, I think Georgia has set themselves apart, as has Michigan, because they're so deep, right? That's when you see Zach Zenter, the starting right guard, like an all-conference player, go out against the Buckeyes, and the Michigan scores on the very next play on a 22-yard run. That speaks to the depth of a roster, right? Georgia has that. When you see Brock Bowers go down or Ladd McConkey is injured, did Georgia miss a step? No, they're blowing out Ole Miss, and they look unbeatable. That's because the depth of those rosters, when you can stack those recruiting classes one after another like that. But, as we know, best rosters don't always win games, boys, and we shouldn't be picking the Final Four playoff spots based off. Exactly, and we shouldn't be picking the Final Four playoff spots based off of who has the best roster. And, I don't envy the committee this year. There's never been a season, I've thought, where more than 3 teams could even vie for the national championship. This year, we legitimately have more teams that can win it than we have spots available. But I think it's a great year to go out with the 4-team, and then next year we can triple the number, and we can all have it out in a 12-team playoff.
Yeah. Talking to David Cohn, joins us every week to talk college football. He's the co-host of Crane and Company. And David, I know a lot of talk this week about the college football playoffs, about the conference championship games, but now for a lot of these teams, it's time to start talking about the offseason. Players are hitting the transfer portal, or at least talking about how they're going to be in the transfer portal once they can officially enter it. But I did see this story yesterday about Cam Ward, the quarterback at Washington State. It's being reported that he has up to 10 $1 million offers to enter the transfer portal and transfer to said school. What do you make of what the transfer portal is becoming with NIL, and now I guess what it's being supposed of teams reaching out to players before they've even made a decision on entering the transfer portal?
Well, it's funny. That news was told to me by a Michigan fan who sent it and said, I doubt the NCAA will do anything about this. And I responded by saying, yeah, unless he picks Michigan. And then there'll be an investigation immediately. But no, that's just a little joke between friends there. Obviously, like I've said on your show before, whenever you have a skill set that can be compensated monetarily or otherwise,
it's the market.
I want that to happen. That's America. That's the American. You have a skill set that people want to pay for. That is awesome. Let's encourage that. That can be good for our sport here. What's not good for our sport is to have no rules, no regulation, no oversight whatsoever. Everyone's saying, man, this transfer portal and NIL and collectives and pay-for-play, this is like the NFL free agency. I say, no, it's not. It's worse. NFL contracts, they have contracts. You got to stick to them. You sign a 5-year deal, you're there for 5 years, right? So we have to get this figured out. It's not going to be done by the NCAA. I don't have proof of this, but what I suspect is after the O'Bannon case, after the NCAA lost that O'Bannon case, what they did was they ran to Congress. They ran to Washington. And, I mean, Tommy Tuberville says the same thing, which he's coming on our show Friday. So y'all make sure to check out Senator Tuberville on our show this week. But says the NCAA is desperately wanting Congress to solve all their problems. And I think they just unleashed as much chaos as they possibly could after they lost that case so that Congress would step in. And they don't want to solve any problems themselves, which is really sad. But, there's just a few common sense things that you could do, which is, when I was playing college football, of course, I never wanted to be exploited. It didn't feel right that I couldn't transfer schools without a penalty, but my head coach could go take some other job or sign a bunch, for a bunch of money. Like, no kid wants to feel exploited. At the same time, if we just have a situation here where you can leave and transfer, or what I see as quit a lot of times on your team and just go somewhere else at the first moment's notice, 18-year-old kids would jump at the chance. I probably would have gone back to Statesboro, to Georgia Southern, or somewhere else, after the first couple of practices, because it's that hard. Now, Cam Ward's situation is a little bit different, and I hope that he, gets all gets compensated for all the value he brings to a football team. But this can't just be a situation where we have, hired guns at will, where there's just no commitment, no honored commitment to a program. We're talking about the top 3 guys for the Heisman Trophy right now: Jaden Daniels, Bo Nix, Michael Penix Jr. All of them played elsewhere. All of those guys are transfer quarterbacks. Sam Hartman at Notre Dame, transfer quarterback. I take pride in the fact that I went to the University of Michigan. I played there for 4 years. I stuck it out. I was never the starter. That was very tough. I could have transferred elsewhere, but I didn't. I stayed there. I made a commitment to them. They made a commitment to me. And I guess, those days are kind of gone now. But hopefully we can get back to that whenever college football runs itself rather than relying on the NCAA.
David, I think we know which one will get New Year's Six bowl preference, but between these two teams, Ole Miss and Mizzou, who do you think's better?
That's a really good question. Missouri is as good as it gets, and I'm so proud of the job that Eli Drinkowitz has done. I would not want to play Missouri. I think they're really, really good. But Ole Miss has the best losses in the country. I mean, even better than Penn State. I mean, Penn State lost to Michigan and Ohio State, but they got one of those games at home. Ole Miss's 2 losses are to Alabama and Georgia on the road. Like, that's pretty incredible. And when you think about, like, Mizzou had LSU on the ropes down the stretch, should have won that football game. They didn't.
Lost by 10.
Have the same record. And when I made my top 10 last night, and I told you I sat there looking at those 4-1 loss teams for an hour, I put Ole Miss at 9 as that first 2-loss team, and I put Missouri at 10. I think I would give them both the edge over Penn State. That's just me, but I'll tell you what, I wouldn't bet any money. I'm not betting any more money against Missouri or Eli Drinkowitz with the job he's done, and I'm so proud of what they've been able to accomplish. And Lane Kiffin, too. I've been tough on Lane Kiffin. Seems unfocused down the stretch of a lot of seasons, but I'll tell you what, not this year. He stayed focused. He got those kids to compete. He got those kids to finish. Huge win in the Egg Bowl. And you can just imagine what the Egg Bowl is going to look like if he stays at Ole Miss and Jeff Levy's coming in to run the Mississippi
I can't imagine, David.
Let me give you a hint. Take the over.
Yes, I can imagine, and I love Jeff Levy.
Yeah, he's
no doubt. Yeah, no, I do too. It's a great hire for them.
Great hire.
Absolutely. Last thing for you, David. I guess we got the announcement yesterday that Bobby Petrino will return to Arkansas as the offensive coordinator. What'd you make of that news?
We had multiple guys, fans of the show, call in this morning from Arkansas who shared their thoughts. They're all head over heels. They think it's a great hire. Look, I almost played for Bobby Petrino at Louisville coming out. They had the number 1 offense in the country. This was his first stint there before he went to the Falcons.
Great quarterback coach.
I'm a little bit surprised. I'm a little bit surprised just because for Arkansas, I mean, the way that it ended, not that coaches shouldn't receive second chances. I've been saying every school in the country should try and hire Urban Meyer, right? When Auburn hired Hugh Freeze and people were complaining about Hugh Freeze, I said, look, it's a new job. It's a new opportunity. Let him grow. Hopefully, give these guys a chance to showcase that they have grown and they have changed. Yeah. It's just with Bobby Petrino specifically, I've seen him already go back to multiple places, right? Didn't Louisville take him back and he said that was going to be the last stop for him? Just with what all happened there with the volleyball girl and the, hiring her and the motorcycle accident and all that kind of stuff, it seems a little bit odd that Arkansas would bring him back in when I still think Arkansas could hire a great number of offensive coordinators who, younger guys who can still give you everything that you want on the offensive side of the football. But I made that point on today's show, and my co-host Blaine Crane said, well, you know what it's like? It's like that ex-girlfriend that you just can't get over, right? There's plenty of other girls. They like you. You like them. But there's an ex-girlfriend that you just, y'all had so many good times together. And when you look, when Bobby Petrino left Arkansas, I think they were top 5. They were led by one of my former teammates, Ryan Mallett. Rest in peace to him.
Double-digit win seasons.
Back-to-back to, 10 that first time, 11 the next year, something like that. I had them top 5, so I understand it. I do understand it. I'm glad they retained Sam Pittman. I'm not saying it was the right move. It certainly was surprising to me, but I'm glad that it happened because I like Sam Pittman, and I want it to work there so bad, like I wanted it to work with Scott Frost at Nebraska. That doesn't always mean that it will. I think the leash is going to get shorter and shorter. They've got to perform, and maybe this is the first step for them. I hope it's best for everyone. I hope this is best for Bobby Petrino. Yeah. I hope that it's best for Arkansas and Sam Pittman. That's what I want because my father graduated from Arkansas Law School. I love Arkansas. Little bit surprised by the move. Not a move I would have made necessarily, but hopefully he can come in there and get that offense kick-started.
Wow, David, I didn't know that. What year did your dad graduate from law school at Fayetteville?
He graduated, 81 maybe? 80?
I was a freshman there in 81, but I wasn't hanging out at the law school, David.
Yeah.
Trust me.
He said he wasn't doing a lot of hanging out. He was studying mostly.
I guarantee he was. Especially that first year. David, real quickly, you mentioned the late Ryan Mallett. In just a pure air-it-out contest, could he heave it as far as anybody you've ever been around?
Yeah, Chad Henne was the best quarterback I ever played with at Michigan, and I thought Ryan could even throw it farther and harder. Really, I saw him make a throw one time. No one else would have been impressed with it. No one else would have been impressed with it because no one else was paying attention. It was just warm-ups. We were just in warm-ups. And he was throwing to a receiver in the corner of the end zone. We were on the 10-yard line or something like that. All these tales about him throwing at 80 yards and stuff. This is what I was most impressed with. The sun was peeking over the building, so he didn't want to, lob a fade route, which is what we had called there, and it was just warm-ups to a wide receiver. He didn't want to throw it so that the sun got in that kid's eyes. So he just put it on a frozen rope from the other hash, 10-yard line, back to the end zone. And I just, with the flick of a wrist, like Aaron Rodgers, I just watched that throw. And I was like, man, that ball just comes out, And, we had a really, intense competition. All of us, that's what's so great about football and competitive sports is we're all out there trying to be the guy. We're trying to be the starter. We're trying to be the man. But then we're also brothers, right? We have each other's back. So, he ended up going to Arkansas. I ended up staying there, and he had a great career. And it's really sad what happened to him. But, rest in peace.
Absolutely. Well, David, thanks so much for joining us. We'll do it again next week.
It is great to visit
Let's
with you.
do it. And you guys, please check out the premiere of our new film, Lady Ballers. Comes out Friday night at 8 p.m. Central.
Absolutely.
Thank you, David.
Will. Thanks, David. David Cohn joining us every week to talk college football. He's the co-host of Crane and Company. You can go check that out on YouTube every single morning. They've got a new show up of Crane and Company. But let's go ahead and get to a break. When we come back, we'll take an early look at some of the lines for this weekend in the NFL and college football. That's next on Sports Time.
Join the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin, for Wolo and Friends. Weekday mornings from 10 to 11 here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Memphis, home of the Blues, World Championship Barbecue, and award-winning craft beers. Now you can discover these great libations on a craft beer adventure with City Brew Tours Memphis. City Brew Tours Memphis is your ticket to behind-the-scenes access at local breweries. See how craft beer is made, discover the different styles of beer, and learn the history of beer and how Memphis brewers are making such great beer. Best of all, with City Brew Tours, you get to sample great beers at each brewery you tour, and you get some great local munchies to go along with all that great beer. City Brew Tours takes care of the transportation to the breweries too. You drink, they drive. Need a great gift idea this year? Get your loved ones an experience they will never forget. A local craft beer tour with City Brew Tours Memphis. Go to citybrewtours.com/Memphis and brew up a craft beer adventure. City Brew Tours Memphis. You drink, they guide. Step up your wings game at East Coast Wings & Grill. With 60 wing flavors and 7 heat indexes, do you have what it takes to turn the heat on your wings up to insanity? East Coast Wings & Grill is family friendly with a large variety menu to satisfy the whole bunch. Sign up today for their loyalty program and taste the rewards. For every $1 you spend, you collect a point. Earn 100 points and receive a $5 reward. Next to Lowe's off Highway 64 in Bartlett, come try America's best wings at East Coast Wings & Grill.
You or someone you know or care about has dealt with a difficult divorce. When facing divorce, you need the attorneys at Rice Law. Nick and Larry Rice lead the firm with 3 generations and 7 decades of experience. Located in Memphis, serving the entire state of Tennessee and North Mississippi. Rice Law is who you need to call. Simple or difficult divorce, they know how to handle it. Call Rice Law at 901-526-6701, or for more information, visit them at aboutdivorce.com. That's aboutdivorce.com.
Year-end means huge savings at Gossett Kia on the Pike with the season of giving back. About 41 MPG for those holiday road trips. 2023 Kia Forte LXS, $229 a month, $27.99 due at signing. Family road trip, 2024 Kia Sportage LX with class-leading cargo room and rear seat legroom, $299 a month, $34.99 due at signing. And get where you're going for less in a 2023 Kia EV6 Wind, 134 City, 101 Highway MPGE, $379 a month, $49.99 due at signing, all 36-month lease. Plus a free Charger with your EV purchase and Kia's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. Ask for Bobby J. He's ready to put you in a new Kia today. Gossett Kia, 1900 Covington Pike, or online, KiaCovingtonPike.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
All 36-month lease, $650 acquisition fee. Must finance through Hyundai. Forte LXS PE 694,095 MSRP 21,610. Sportage R722 7239 MSRP 28,715. EVP 560 3393 MSRP 50,200. Includes all rebates and incentives. Excludes tax title and license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 11/30/2023 with approved credit. Dealer stock only.
Jenkins Floors and More in Hernando is growing. This family business started up 5 years ago with just 1 pallet, and now they have hundreds. Tim, the owner, gets calls from people everywhere and can sometimes save them up to 50% on wood flooring, carpet, tile, and vinyl. Jenkins Floors and More helps with renovations, home building, and installation. Jenkins Floors and More, number 6 East Commerce Street in Hernando. Also in Little Rock and coming soon to Tennessee. Call 662-469-9350 for more information.
Start your day the right way at La Palapa with the biggest, baddest breakfast burrito around. Chorizo, cheese, rice, beans, and eggs served with fresh salsa, and it's served all day. La Palapa has daily lunch specials, all served with rice and beans, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Try a torta, breaded chicken, steak, chorizo, or ham served with mayo, avocado, lettuce, tomato, and jalapenos, all in a hoagie. Plus amazing soups and dinner entrees, all at La Palapa, 5255 Summer Avenue. La Palapa, the little hut with big taste.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Welcome back into Sports Time. Bryant and Brett in our Family Leisure Studios, and we got to take a look at the lines for this weekend, kind of early look at the lines, but not for all of these games. We got a couple conference championship games on Friday night.
Obviously,
two in Vegas.
We used to say they don't play the games in Vegas, but we really do this week.
We sure do. So I'm really excited for these conference championship games. I know one that I'm going to have issue with in terms of these lines. I've mentioned it already. I just don't understand, even if you think Oregon is going to blow the doors off Washington, I do not understand how they are favored by so much.
Don't undersell Vegas.
Well, that's a good point. I mean, Vegas knows what they're doing. I'm never going to sit here and argue with Vegas, so I don't know what I'm doing right now.
Friday night's pretty good, real good, just Oregon and Washington stand alone.
No, yeah, absolutely.
Enough. But I will be interested in New Mexico State Liberty.
Sure.
Not riveted, but interested.
But I mean, Liberty, what they've done this year, now in the top 25.
Jerry Keel's story on New Mexico State.
Yeah, absolutely.
The Liberty story speaks for itself.
I mean, those are two teams that I think have really surprised a lot of people. And so, yeah, that's going to be a fun one to watch. But that Oregon-Washington's going to take a lot of the eyeballs.
Saturday morning early, we really wanted a rematch of OU-Texas. We don't get it. Sports isn't scripted.
No, it's not scripted. And I mean, that would have been the best thing ever.
Some sports are.
Yeah, some of them
They're shows, though.
Well, yes, they are. Yeah, they don't call them sporting events, I guess. But, no, I mean, what would have been better, Brett, if you could have gotten Texas and OU last Big 12 championship, and one of the winners.
SEC chants everywhere, and your mark refusing to give either side the trophy.
That's right. And I mean, no matter which way you split it, it's going to be going to the SEC team winning. But no, I guess Oklahoma State has a chance to say, Big 12, we're still here.
And your mark openly pulling. I don't blame him. I would too. But he's going to have to go back and look at some of the old video of when Pete Rozelle would have to award the Lombardi Trophy to Al Davis, while Al Davis had him in federal court and the legal bills were running like the debt clock.
Yep, that's right. No, it's going to be awkward on Saturday because I mean, good luck Oklahoma State, but I think UT's going to win. I think they're going to win pretty handedly, and so it's going to be very awkward in that trophy ceremony.
MAC championship at 11 on Saturday morning. Toledo, 1 loss Toledo.
Oh yeah,
2 loss Miami. Mountain West championship. That's in Vegas as well, Saturday night. Yeah. UNLV, Coach Barry Lamar, Dave Odom in that one.
Yeah, I mean, and what a job he's done at UNLV. I mean, you talk about stories and building programs. The job he's done there has been unbelievable.
2.5 UNLV over Boise. SEC championship game. Georgia now 5.5. It's been at 6.
Yeah.
It started at 3 on Sunday.
Yeah, I mean, is this the never bet against Nick Saban in the big one or something?
That's your mantra that you violated this year.
I violated a lot, but I mean, it's a mantra I like to live by sometimes, I guess.
At Ullman on Saturday, Tulane 3.5 over SMU, and SMU without Preston Stone.
Yeah, SMU without Preston Stone's really going to hurt them. I mean, this defense is still intact for SMU, and they've been really good.
He might be better than Michael Pratt. When healthy.
He might be. And I mean, he's a really talented quarterback. So, I mean, that's going to be a fun game to watch. I'm kind of surprised it's only 3.5, though, with that injury.
John Summerall and Troy going for back-to-back 11-2, and last year they finished 12-2. He'll have a chance at that in the bowl. 6-point favorite over App State. 8-4 for App State.
Yeah, and App State kind of playing upset already this season when JMU hosted game day, beat them in that one. So maybe they could pull upset again against Troy. That one really could be a game that not a lot of people are watching on Saturday, that could be one of the games of the day.
Help me out, Brian. Michigan, is that the over and under 21.5, or is that what Michigan's favored
Brett,
over Iowa?
I love this game. Michigan, a 22-point favorite with the total sitting at 35. And Brett, if I can, just go a little bit deeper into some of the lines for this game. Brett, if you were to think that Iowa would score more than a touchdown, so more points, 7.5 points, over 7.5 points for the entire game for Iowa is plus 150. You can get plus money in a conference championship game for a team to just score more than a touchdown.
Can we go back to 3 minutes ago? Vegas knows what they're doing.
Brett,
they're not scoring over 7.5.
Brett, let me go even further. Total points, just total points, and wow, it's moved. People heard me earlier, because when I saw this earlier, it's now to 2.5. When I saw this earlier, Brett, and this was just a couple hours ago during Johnny Radio show, over half a point in the first half was minus 110. Over half a point in the second half was minus 110.
No way they get one.
I mean,
no rouge here.
They don't think they get a single point. Now it has moved up to 2.5 points. So all you need is unless they are betting on getting a safety, you would think the only way they could score is getting a field goal.
You haven't lived till you've been to a game and gotten a rouge.
Well, that's a very good point, Brad. You've been to a game and gotten a rouge.
Here.
That's very good.
Summer of 95 or 6.
What a time.
Yeah.
Sad I went there to witness it.
Boy, it was hot. Louisville underdogged FSU, but not by much because of the quarterback situation for FSU. FSU 2.5 Saturday night.
Yeah, no, that's going to be a fun one. I mean, we talked about kind of what Florida State has gone through this week. And last week, people outwardly cheering against them at this point for them to lose. But Louisville, losing that game against Kentucky, how do they bounce back in this championship game?
Tomorrow night, all the action right here. Johnny, our Cowboys. Mine and
right.
Really our Cowboys. Just me and Johnny, our Cowboys, right?
Of course.
Brett.
Kind of, maybe.
Hey, Brett, I'm sorry. I'm not on that side
not
yet,
a Cowboys fan. We'll get you over here eventually.
No, you won't, Brian.
Cowboys a 9-point favorite over Seahawks tomorrow night. Sunday, Lions and Saints. Detroit 4-point favorite on the road.
Yeah, on the road, and with Detroit, it seemed like we were kind of going, that roller coaster of what the Detroit Lions are. It seemed like we were going up, and now we're going down after that Thanksgiving Day game when they really
became the old Lions.
I mean, they became the old Lions, and so I think, who knows what happens on the road. It's hard to follow up a game like that on your home field on Thanksgiving Day and immediately go onto the road. I mean, that could be a tough game for the Lions.
I think the two best teams in the NFL meet Sunday afternoon, 3:25 on Fox. San Francisco 3-point favorite at Philly.
That's going to be a heck of a game. A lot of people have been talking about the Bills and the Eagles game from last week and what a great game it was. And now you're going to get another, maybe even better game this weekend at 3:45 when the 49ers travel to the Eagles. I'm surprised the 49ers on the road a 2.5-point favorite. That's kind of shocking.
Sunday night, a battle of Super Bowl I, Chiefs and Packers.
That will be a fun one. I mean, how do the Packers come out?
Get ready for bingo.
Home?
All the archival video
absolutely
that will be shown that night, because that was the rare Super Bowl on 2 networks.
Really?
Because of AFL, NFL, CBS, and NBC.
Interesting. Well, that one should be a fun one. Obviously, I think
CBS had the NFL and NBC had the AFL.
Really? Interesting. Okay, so, there will be a lot of that, I'm sure, on come Friday. You'll have that on your bingo card. But it should be a fun. I'm curious to see how the Packers come out after that impressive showing on Thanksgiving. And then for the Chiefs, on the road, it's kind of been up and down for them over the last couple of weeks. And that one should be a fun one.
Max McGee, the hero of Super Bowl I. He was not MVP, should have been.
Yeah.
But Bart Starr, deference to the quarterbacks. Sure. Max McGee with the famous story, he didn't expect to play. Had injuries early in the game, so they told him to go in for a wake-up call when in the kickoff, I'm going to say at that year, Central Time kickoff was probably 1 o'clock.
Okay.
So when they went for wake-up, they said he still had ice that wasn't melted in his drink from the night before.
Oh, that's great. That's amazing.
Played college at Tulane and famous partner. And his partner in crime was Paul Hornung, because he was hurt for that game.
Really?
So I think they stayed out all night in Hollywood and West Beverly.
Different time.
Good time of year for all of us right now, celebrating the holidays, and for office get-togethers, family get-togethers, or just for breakfast, lunch, or dinner, keep Jason's Deli in mind. A variety of delicious choices for every meal. All the food's free from dyes, artificial trans fats, good and good for you. Same day and last minute orders are welcomed for groups of 5 or 5,000. They have you covered, dine in, to go, or delivery. Wholesome food forever. It's a family thing at Jason's Deli, first franchise in the nation to be trans fat free, all about choice. Regardless if you seek a gluten-free menu, vegetarian sandwiches, healthy kids meals, you'll be delighted at Jason's Deli, and you can invent your own via the Build Your Own selection. That salad bar in every location. Locations at Ridgeway Road, Poplar and Highland, Olive Branch, and Cordova. That salad bar, it's one of the mainstays. Over 30 items to choose from in every location. Plenty of organic food to choose from. All the salads, all the soups, all the great food, the great sweet tea at Jason's Deli. You can get the manager's half sandwich special this time of year and get that with any of the soups. Get that grilled cheese and chili at lunch like I do so very often. At all these locations, you can get the complimentary free ice cream at Ridgeway Road, Poplar and Highland, Olive Branch, and Cordova. Check them out online as well at jasonsdeli.com.
Let's get to a break. When we come back, it'll be time for Big Number of the Day.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studio, we are Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Tease the season at Edwin Watts Golf Shops by Worldwide Golf for holiday specials this year. Featuring the TaylorMade Stilt 2 Carbon Woods that combine speed and forgiveness to unlock forgiveness. Now up to $100 off. And from Bushnell, the new Tour V6 Series laser rangefinders provide you the most accurate distances in golf. There's always gift cards at any amount for the special golfer you're shopping for. Edwin Watts Golf Shops is home of the 90-day satisfaction guarantee. Shop us in store or online at worldwidegolf.com.
Hewlett & Dunn Boot and Clothing Company, we have it all. From handmade Amish leather belts, fine and casual clothing, boots, casual boots, work boots, fancy boots, and even safety-toed boots. Lots of cowboy hats to choose from, even Nebo lights, good-looking duck head dress shirts, duck head caps, shorts, and pants. Tons of jeans from Ariat, Wrangler, Devil Dog, and Kimes Ranch jeans. At Hewlett & Dunn, we have a great selection of Old South t-shirts and caps. Fine clothing from dress to casual to Sunday best. Enjoy choosing from UFO's orthopedic-approved shoes. Hewlett & Dunn Boot and Clothing Company. Boots of every size, every color, every skin. Great quality Western, work, and safety toe boots. Hewlett & Dunn Boots and Clothing Company. 111 North Center Street, Collierville. Hewlett & Dunn. Hewlett & Dunn, serving you and your family since 1961.
Simple, smooth, and every sip as easy as the last. Tito's handmade vodka tastes just as good with tap water as it does with your favorite mixer. Back in the day, Tito distilled, hand-bottled, taste-tested, sent to a few friends, then taste-tested again to give you the finest juice around. No frills, no flavors, no fancy labels, just the good stuff. Just Tito's. For recipes, videos, and more, visit Tito'sVodka.com. Distilled and bottled in Austin, Texas, 40% alcohol by volume, namely 80 proof, crafted to be savored responsibly.
Roofs, roofs, and more roofs. Chris Price here with Metro Builders. Is your roof leaking? Do you have mold stains on the ceiling of your home or business? Is your carrier denying your claim or offering a repair simply because they don't have enough documentation? You need a contractor that performs work for insurance claims for policyholders each and every day, and Metro Builders is here to assist. Call Metro Builders. At Metro Builders, we provide free estimates, consultation, and claim repairs. Metro Builders' process of arriving, inspecting, diagnosing problems, and estimating is second to none, commercial and residential. Our team of Hague-certified technicians are standing by to assist you with providing estimates and photos to your carrier to document your loss. All you owe is what your policy states. No large fees on top of the final scope. We use high-grade materials and are certified by companies like Atlas, CertainTeed, Owens Corning, and Mulehide with labor warranties up to 50 years on all of our jobs. Metro Builders provides roof repairs across the Mid-South. Call Metro Builders to schedule your inspection free. Call me. 901-375-1717. That's 901-375-1717.
Step up your wings game at East Coast Wings and Grill. With 60 wing flavors and 7 heat indexes, do you have what it takes to turn the heat on your wings up to insanity? East Coast Wings and Grill is family friendly with a large variety menu to satisfy the whole bunch. Sign up today for their loyalty program and taste the rewards. For every $1 you spend, you collect a point. Earn 100 points and receive a $5 reward. Next to Lowe's off Highway 64 in Bartlett, come try America's best wings at East Coast Wings and Grill.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Big Daddy.
Hello, Big Brand.
It's a guy, he wants to be big, then he gets big, he doesn't want to be big anymore, then he gets small, but the suit's too big.
Big Daddy.
The big boy.
You're a big guy. I think she's trying to pull a fast one on Big Daddy.
The big number of the day.
Well, Brett, I've got a lot of big numbers. I got a lot of different ways that I could go with my big number, but I might go a little abstract today with my big number. Johnny, what do you think about an abstract big number?
I love it, Brian, depending on what you're going to.
All right. Well,
he's the judge.
I am. I like it, Brett.
I am going to go abstract with this one, and then my big number is going to be number 1. Any guesses why number 1, Johnny?
Man, I'm lost now.
Because I think a lot of teams' number 1 priority in the offseason is getting a quarterback, right? You know, football teams, you got to have a quarterback. You got to have a gunslinger. Yeah. And with the transfer portal already going crazy, we've got some big names today that have entered the transfer portal at the quarterback position. So I just wanted to use this time to highlight them. So that's why my number is 1 for our big number of the day. And speaking of number 1, KJ Jefferson is reportedly in the transfer portal. Now, he, after those reports went out, put on his Instagram or some sort of social media that he hasn't made a decision yet, but all indications say KJ Jefferson is entering the portal.
And a shredded knee.
That's a very good point,
Yeah.
Brett. You were talking about on Monday, and so it'll be interesting to kind of see what his offseason looks like in the transfer portal. Coastal Carolina's quarterback Grayson McCall, who was a big name to keep an eye out for in the transfer portal last year, is now in the transfer portal, and who knows where he goes. He was super big.
He's been playing college football since 97 or 98.
Forever in
Dang.
big Coastal Carolina. Last
been there a
year,
while.
entered the transfer portal, then took his name out and said, "I, bleed teal. I'm gonna be Coastal Carolina."
Teal.
Yeah,
Nobody
but
does
through and
that.
through. Clearly, he doesn't because he's in the transfer portal. Max Johnson has committed to North Carolina. He'll be the quarterback there. This in transfer portal
Third
news.
stop for him.
Yeah, third spot for you. That's right. It was breaking news earlier that Spencer Rattler has declared for the 2024 NFL Draft.
Really?
Yeah. And then the biggest one, the most recent big one name that has entered the transfer portal at the quarterback position, Duke quarterback Riley Leonard has entered the transfer portal. Obviously, his coach going down to Texas A&M. Sounds like...
And he's injured as well.
And he is injured as well. And was injured for a large part of the season. But it sounds like the top 2 options for Riley Leonard right now, he has a no-contact tag on him in the transfer portal. It sounds like the 2 teams that it's going to be down between: Notre Dame, who, hit big last year with a transfer portal guy, and Auburn.
And the internet, just stop it with Arch Manning to Mississippi State.
Yeah, but I saw that the other day.
Yeah, I seen it too.
I didn't want to mention him because obviously his name is not in the transfer portal or even being spoken about yet as a transfer portal option. But I did see rumors that he could go to Mississippi State. There were rumors that he was at
Boy, I just
Mississippi
thought I was
State.
bad the day Peyton went to Tennessee.
Oh man, that would be a new level.
That'd been a new level, man.
Maybe more than I could bear. My big number is 17, and all week my big number will center around the SEC championship game. One of those 2 teams, and one of them, 17 Iron Bowls for Coach Nick Saban. He's now 12-5 in the Iron Bowl, 7-1 at Bryant-Denny, 5-4 at Jordan-Hare, and at least 1 win over 6 different head coaches Auburn's run out there at Iron Bowl time. No coach at either school has ever recorded at least 1 win over that many other opposition head coaches.
That's incredible.
Brett, you did it again. A+, man.
You
B.
like the abstract.
It was a B. It was a B minus. It was a B minus.
No pluses or minuses, Johnny. I'm sorry.
Okay. B. It's a B, man. It's a
we
B.
don't do pluses or minuses, but that's a great big number.
And
Brett.
remember when Gus was so proud of his record against Coach Nick Saban?
Well, I mean, I forgot what we were talking about earlier, and I said I can't really blame him. Alabama fans, I can't blame him for being happy about a record against Nick Saban. I mean, it's few find success against him, so I would probably also tout a record that has a win in it.
if Texas takes care of business in the early game Saturday, isn't Alabama just playing out the string Saturday afternoon?
It seems like it. It really does. Now I'm starting to see.
Can it get that crazy that Texas and Bama got in a football four? I don't think
it'd be one or the other. I have seen, and obviously SEC Network, they're gonna talk SEC to the highest, but there are some people now trying to argue, and kind of back to what you say, and SEC has to be in it. SEC will be mad if they can't. They'll throw a fit if they're not in it. But people now trying to make the argument of if Alabama beat Georgia and Texas took care of business, that Alabama would have the better win because they beat an undefeated Georgia team.
I go back to
what happened on the field?
September the 8th.
Yeah.
Was that the day?
Close enough. Sounds good to me.
I was in New Orleans for Ole Miss Tulane. That was early that morning and that night.
That was a crazy day. That was also the same day.
I saw a pounding.
Brett, that was
September
the same day
9th,
Mississippi State beat Arizona, right?
Sure was.
So that was a crazy day. I mean, what a day that was.
Auburn beat Cal that day. I'm looking at the schedule now.
Wow. So what a day that was. But yeah, I mean, what happened on the
maybe
field?
the SEC. The SEC was not bad this year.
No,
by any means.
Not at all.
But it was not its usual vintage.
No.
Its usual 10.
No.
Wasn't a Nadia Comaneci. It might have been a good, strong 9-7 from a tough judge like Johnny Hill. But it was not a 10 this year. It wasn't.
Johnny, I'm glad I have, I had the title of tough judge, the hard grader. Nobody ever liked my grades. I was being too tough, doing it too hard. So I'm glad you've come along and you can take that title now.
I accept the title, Brian.
I mean, I wish we were talking about 3 SEC teams in, but I'm not talking if it's not realistic.
No, yeah, that's a really good point. And
2 aren't.
No, and so
1 may not be.
Well, then that would be the chaos if we saw it on Saturday.
I wish we'd ask Pat this. I wonder how Bama will accept if Georgia just goes out and takes care of business, wins 14-17, 3 touchdowns. Will it be like in golf? On 18, you just shake hands and walk away, or will it be more? Because last year, 2 losses, they never, and I kept trying to say it, but you lost to Tennessee. Yep. They have precedent.
That's right. No, that'd be that's a good question, because I think anything could happen. I mean, again, Alabama fans are not used to not being the best, and if Georgia beats them in the championship game and makes it look easy,
who will be gracious in defeat, and it'll be Nick Saban.
Nick Saban, absolutely. But that fan base on the other side, I mean, if Georgia makes it look easy on Saturday and is on the way to being in the Final Four again to compete for their 3rd straight national championship, Alabama fans are not going to take that well. I mean, it's just end of the day, they are not.
They're not.
You should tip your cap, and better team. You're rolling right now, but they won't.
They don't have Pete Golding to blame for it.
Find somebody new to blame.
They don't have Bill O'Brien to blame for it.
No, but they'll find somebody to blame, Brett. I'm sure of that. Well, before we get to a break, a little bit later, we're going to talk about the Grizzlies. A big game for them tonight as they're still looking for their first win, and you might be looking for a place to watch the game. Let me point you into the direction of Bell Tavern, located at 117 Barbaro Alley, right behind 117 Prime. Open from 4 to 11, Wednesday through Saturday, and 4 to 8 on Sundays. And Bell Tavern is not a sports bar. It's not somewhere where you go and it's loud, you can barely hear anybody, everyone's going there to drink and watch the game. This is a bar that you can hang out with your friends, you can enjoy conversation with people while also watching a game. Start the night with a gourmet burger and one of their great cocktails in this quiet, dimly lit bar that you can enjoy that game at with friends, with people you like to be around. And look, it's not the burgers. Bell Tavern has the best bar food in Memphis and the coldest beer in the city. 117 Prime, just walk through their dining room and you're at the best bar in town. For more information about our friends at Bell Tavern, give them a call, 901-249-6580. That's 901-249-6580, or go online to belltavern.com. Well, let's put a wrap on hour number 2. When we come back to start our 3rd and final hour, we're going to talk some college basketball with Kevin Sweeney.
Step up your wings game at East Coast Wings and Grill. With 60 wing flavors and 7 heat indexes, do you have what it takes to turn the heat on your wings up to insanity? East Coast Wings and Grill is family friendly with a large variety menu to satisfy the whole bunch. Sign up today for their loyalty program and taste the rewards. For every $1 you spend, you collect a point. Earn 100 points and receive a $5 reward. Next to Lowe's off Highway 64 in Bartlett, come try America's best wings at East Coast Wings and Grill.
All 36-month lease, $650 acquisition fee must finance through Hyundai, Forte LXS, PE 694,095, MSRP 21,610, Sportage R722,7239, MSRP 28,715, EVP 560, 3393, MSRP 50,200, includes all rebates and incentives, excludes tax title and license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 11/30/2023 with approved credit. Dealer stock only. Got Jeff Allen here from Gossett Kia, South Mount Moriah. Hey Jeff, you ready for the holidays with the season of giving back?
I'm ready to give out some great holiday gifts and save you some big bucks. Perfect for the holiday road trips. 41 MPG Highway in a new 2023 Kia Forte LXS, $229 a month, $27.99 due at signing. Or a big family that needs more room? 2024 Kia Sportage LX with class-leading cargo room and rear seat leg room, $299 a month, $34.99 due at signing.
What about an EV?
2023 Kia EV6 Wind, 134 City, 101 Highway, MPGE, $379 a month, $49.99 due at signing. All 36-month lease.
Plus a free charger with your EV purchase and Kia's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty.
So whether you live in Horn Lake, South Haven, Olive Branch, or Memphis, you'll be happy at Gossett Kia on Mount Moriah.
How long has it been since you heard the term being overstocked? Well, it's happened at Family Leisure. Yep. That means you get the savings, like select patio sets that are up to 50% off. If you need a play gym, you're in luck because they're also overstocked and start at under $2,000. Pool tables and game room items up to $700 off of in-stock items. Saunas, massage chairs, arcades, even theater seating. Special financing is available with free delivery. Family Leisure is extending sale pricing on all in-stock hot tubs and swim spas. And if you need supplies to close up your pool for the winter, Family Leisure has them up to 30% off. It's been a while since you've heard of an overstock sale, but Family Leisure is right in the middle of one. Huge deals and a huge overstocked inventory. That means great savings for you. It's happening now at Family Leisure, Whitten Road at I-40, where family and fun come together.
Want to play a private country club but only pay daily greens fees? Meadowbrook Country Club in West Memphis is your place. You can now play a beautiful, challenging course for only $59 plus tax, including cards. Meadowbrook Country Club features champion Bermuda greens and now is available to everyone. A membership is only $350 per month and includes tennis, pickleball, and swimming, plus a great restaurant and bar. Golf Pro Mark can even fix you up with custom-made tricks on clubs. Call 870-394-4186 today for your Tuesday through Sunday tee time at Meadowbrook Country Club in West Memphis.
The Crazy Coop, America's premier wing destination, has 27 delicious flavors to choose from and counting. Like the Buffalo Ranch, a perfect combo of ranch seasoning with a little kick. Mango Habanero, sweet taste of mango followed by the heat. Or sweet maple bourbon. The taste will remind you of chicken and waffles. And that's just 3 of the amazing 27 chicken wing seasonings that you can get at the Crazy Coop in Bartlett at 7199 Stage Road. And now open the Crazy Coop Express at 1315 Ridgeway off Poplar. Some like it hot. How about the Crazy Sweet Lemon Pepper Hot or Crazy Suicide? Can't take the heat? Get the 4-cheese roasted garlic or barbecue bacon bourbon. Ask about the $9.99 lunch special. Now those are some crazy good prices. The Crazy Coop, 2 locations, 7199 Highway 64 between Appleton and Kirby Whitten, and 1315 Ridgeway off Poplar. Family owned and operated, The Crazy Coop, America's premier wing destination. Join Jaron, Dez, and your Memphis Grizzlies tonight at 7 p.m. when your Grizzlies host the Utah Jazz presented by Matta. Get hyped, get ready for a fierce showdown, and secure your tickets today by calling 901-888-HOOP or visiting Grizzlies.com.
I know the sweetest thing in Memphis, and I know it's been around for 120 years. You know, I'm talking about Dinstall's, and it's time to stock up heavy on Cashew Crunch, Heavenly Crunch, Turtlettes, all of your favorite Dinstall's treats to watch the playoff games and to watch all the basketball. It's so easy to get. The sweetest thing in Memphis, all you have to do is head to Laurelwood or head to Germantown and Poplar right across from the hospital, or go where they make the candies. That's on Pleasant View. There's nothing that says Memphis better than Cashew Crunch with that little tinge of coconut, or the Turtlettes. Let's face it, there's nothing better than Dinstall's chocolate. That's the mainstay of all candies, isn't it? Milk, chocolate, although their dark chocolate is pretty darn good. And if you get the peppermint with the dark chocolate and put it in the freezer, you're going to love it. So many ways to love Dinstall's. 115 years of making Memphis oh so sweet.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis, Flynn Broadcasting Stations.
Now, back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Hewlett & Dunn, Boot and Jean Company in Collierville. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Kevin Sweeney joins us now to talk some college basketball from Sports Illustrated and CBB Central. You can follow him on Twitter at CBB_Central. Kevin, thanks so much for joining us. We missed you last week with Thanksgiving and everything that was going on here, but we got you back in a lot of college basketball to talk about. But I want to start off with the Memphis Tigers. A lot of people here a little upset that the Tigers not in the top 25 after going 2-1 down at the Bahamas. What did you make of the weekend for the Tigers beating Michigan and Arkansas, but ultimately losing in the final game against Villanova? And what do you make of the AP top 25 for a third straight week? The Tigers sit at number 26.
Yeah, I mean, I could have gone either way. Mm-hmm. Like, I personally would have ranked them probably in the 22 to 25 range, but I think you lose a lot of your bargaining power when you get blown out the way they did against Villanova. Obviously, 16 is the final score, but it was worse than that most of the way. And I think the other thing, too, with Memphis is, yeah, like they have some real wins, 3 road neutral wins against high major opponents. That's great. But, you know, you look up and say, well, beating Michigan doesn't look quite as impressive as it did a couple, 2 weeks ago when they beat St. John's after they lose to Long Beach State, and they struggle throughout the rest of that battle for Atlantis. Arkansas obviously struggled in Atlantis. Missouri had the bad loss at home. So things like that, I think, all play into it. It's not overly important in the grand scheme of things, right? I think Memphis has certainly accomplished what it wants to accomplish so far in the non-conference. They'll have more opportunities here coming up. But I think overall a successful week, whether or not it landed them in the top 25.
Another team from the AAC, FAU, last year's Final Four participant, they are 13th. Are they that good?
I don't think so. I think I've been pretty. I think I had them 17th or 18th the preseason. I think that was probably the right spot. The Bryant game probably dropped people down too low on them, and now they're probably a little too high after how well they played in Orlando. I think the good thing for FAU that was really impressive was John L. Davis and particularly Elijah Martin. Both those guys really finally played well this past weekend, and that was something both guys had struggled. Martin was coming off an injury, you understood it. But for this team to get to the ceiling that they were at last year, which was, obviously even before a Final Four, that was an unbelievable basketball team that won 35 games. And, I think you needed Martin to be that guy, and he finally was again. They get 3 huge wins. That's great for their NCAA tournament hopes, and great for the American as a whole.
I think Villanova is pretty good tonight in the Big 5 Classic. They play St. Joe, 5-1, pretty big favorite tonight over St. Joe's. But I thought they were a really good team, and when they were up 35, I mean, they could make anything.
Yeah, it's funny. Like if Villanova finds a way to beat Penn in the second week of the year in a game that they just shot it incredibly poorly, like everything went wrong type of night, they win that game. They're like a consensus top 10 team right now, and people are talking about them as a title contender. They played so well in Atlantis. They're so talented offensively. I mean, obviously, a lot was made of the transfers, and I think some people forgot Justin Moore and Eric Dixon are 2 of the best players in the Big East, and Dixon in particular had an awesome week, just so productive inside and out as a big guy. And I think that's certainly not a loss that will look bad for Memphis. Obviously, the way they played, they don't want to play like that. I thought especially in the first half, there were some moments where it's like you're just kicking the ball around out there, and that that's hard to explain. But it's also 3 games in 3 days, and bad nights happen. And I'd rather have a bad night against a good team than a bad one.
Well, Kevin, with all of the action over the weekend, a feast week, all of the different tournaments and stuff, what teams stuck out to you, both, I guess, positively or negatively?
Yeah, I mean, I think Purdue winning Maui, has to be the storyline, just because that field was so historically loaded, and the job that they did navigating three unique challenges. Gonzaga has incredible front court depth, Tennessee has incredible physicality, and Marquette has incredible team speed and guard play.
Yeah.
So to beat three different teams three different ways, that really said a lot about what Purdue is. I don't think anyone's surprised. I think we all kind of knew this team would be very, very good in the regular season, but they've earned that number one medal. And as far as who surprised me in a negative way, I think Alabama's struggles have been a little bit disappointing. They got destroyed defensively against Ohio State, and then similarly again last night in the ACC-SEC Challenge against Clemson. I thought they would struggle defensively a little bit. Losing, obviously, Brandon Miller and Noah Clowney were the ones that were talked about, but Charles Bediako, their center, was an unbelievable defensive player. To lose him and to lose Charlie Henry, the assistant who was in charge of their defense, he's now the head coach of Georgia Southern. I think the adjustment has been larger than Nate Oates maybe anticipated. And they've got a rough slate coming up. They have Purdue, not this weekend, but next weekend. They have Creighton the weekend after that, and then they go play Arizona the week after that. So if you're struggling defensively, those are probably not the three teams you want to play.
Are you a little surprised with the Arkansas stumbling 4-3 start, losers of 3 out of the last 4, and got to beat Duke tonight at Bud Walton Arena to fix that?
Yeah, I mean, it's I think surprising in the sense that I just thought their talent level would pop a little bit more than what you see when you watch them. Like, they look very pedestrian outside of Tremont Mark and Trevin Brazil. And, part of that is guys trying to find new roles. I think it's probably underrated in the preseason how little both Battle and Ellis, their two big backcourt additions, have won in their careers. I mean, that's something that, it's funny, when you poll college basketball coaches, the number one thing that they talk about in the portal is how much has a kid won. You will never go on, listen to a college basketball podcast or listen to a talk show and hear everybody talking about, well, I don't know, Ellis never won anything, right? Like, that's not how we all talk, but that's how coaches think. And I think that's something that Arkansas has really run into early. Bud Walton gives them a chance tonight against Duke. I mean, it's just hard. It's hard for me to imagine them winning that game with how they played last week. But I mean, that building is so tough, and the crowd will be on their side if they can make some shots early. I think to get interesting.
And wait till Bobby Petrino rolls out there in a motorcycle tonight.
Yikes! Look out. That wouldn't be great. Kevin, we talked about Kentucky a couple weeks ago after that early season. Really close game against Kansas, but a big win for them last night at home against Miami. Reed Shepherd looks like the real deal so far through the season. How good can this Kentucky team be? And they don't even have 100% of the team on the court yet, right?
Yes. I mean, still waiting on Aaron Bradshaw in the front court. I actually think one of the only things that can derail this team is adding back these big guys, because they're playing such a unique style with small ball, with Mitchell as a 5 and then 4 guards. But I worry that they're going to get these bigs back, and Cal's going to be like, finally, I've got some size, and get away from what they've done so well. I mean, they have one of the best guard units. They have the best guard unit in the country. Went top to bottom. I mean, think about this. I mean, they're bringing Shepard and Robert Dillingham off the bench.
Crazy.
How many teams would that be, like an all-conference backcourt for?
And got reinforcements on the way.
Like, unbelievable. Their depth, their athleticism, their team speed, their shot making. Look, I mean, will they have bumps? Yeah, they're a team full of freshmen. But, man, like, it is hard not to watch and think that's a team that can win it all in March.
The Memphis Tigers, what particularly do you like about the team? I think off to a great start at 5-1. I had 4-2, but off to 5-1, and now we already catch ourselves last night pulling hard from Mizzou. Now go Razorbacks tonight from a Memphis perspective, and
Nova actually,
and well the if you lose to them, it doesn't help you as much as if you beat them, but it doesn't hurt either. That's right. What do you think of the strong suits of Memphis?
Well, I think the depth has really popped, right? And they're able to really cycle bodies and not have a huge drop-off. And I think along with that, the ability for different guys to step up on different nights, right? And guys not to get down on themselves when they're not the guy producing. I mean, David Jones' explosion was unbelievable. I think that was the Arkansas game, wasn't it?
Yes,
he was unbelievable.
No.
Yeah, I mean,
that was Arkansas game.
They have so many different guys who can hurt you, and I think that just makes it really hard to prep them, because you're going to come in and for Hardaway to come in and have 17 off the bench in the Michigan game is just huge. And so I think athletically they're very impressive. They've got versatile guys that can switch and guard multiple positions. That type of versatility and depth is really pretty impactful, and they clearly have enough shot making guys like Jones and Mills and Quinterly in there as well.
Did Rick Pitino make a mistake not keeping him at St. John's?
It's funny. I think Rick was oddly infatuated with cycling through the whole roster. I think he was told, and probably rightly so, that the culture was broken at St. John's.
Fresh start. Yeah.
And ditched some really talented players. I mean, David Jones, A.J. Storr, who's maybe Wisconsin's best player right now. I mean, they really moved on from everyone associated with the Mike Anderson era. And it's funny now to hear him complain, "Oh, nobody knows how to defend on this team. We're still learning." Like,
maybe ran them all off.
Yeah, you got rid of all your players. You had to sign 12 new guys. Of course, none of them know how to defend yet. So, look, like I think at the end of the day, Rick wanted guys who were going to be all bought in on Rick, and David Jones has a reputation maybe for being a little bit more difficult to deal with early in his career. But look, that's why if you're a coach like Penny Hardaway and you can take a guy who's been through some shit and just say, hey, like let's go to work, let's battle, and you have to play my way because I've got 11 guys that can play and you'll sit if you don't. That's a pretty powerful thing.
Yeah, no, you're right. And for the Tigers, their next game down in Oxford against Ole Miss. And Ole Miss, a lot of these early games, they're undefeated. Some of these early games have been really close and some really tough games for them to pull out. But this last one against NC State last night, a 20-point win for them, 72-52. And Moussa Cisse, it was announced after the game by Chris Beard, will be available. He got his waiver in from the NCAA. What do you make of this Ole Miss team so far, 6-0? And for the Tigers, what kind of test will they go up against on Saturday against Ole Miss and an Ole Miss team with Moussa Cisse?
Yeah, I mean, it's a soft 6-0, at least until last night. But, I mean, that's the key when you're finding your stride. They have had so much player availability stuff. Just hang in, right? Just stay alive. And they've done that until all of a sudden you get to finally playing well against NC State and you win the game. I mean, that's huge. I mean, I think defensively with Cisse, it changes the game. Sharp is a unique player as a shot blocker, but to me, Cisse is a much more impactful defender overall. And, it just gives, and it allows him and Sharp to play a lot freer because they don't have to worry about foul trouble. They can just go out and play. So I think defensively is where they're going to take a big step forward with him. Just really a matter of how consistent some of these guards will be scoring the ball and how, really, I think the big question with them is the point guard spot with Jalen Murray, the St. Peter's transfer. Is he good enough to really win them high-level games? This will be the first huge test against Memphis. And if he can, I mean, look, if they can get by this game, there's a real chance we're talking about Ole Miss being 13-0 heading into SEC play, as wild as that sounds right now.
And then if they did that, I think it's a really tough task Saturday for Ole Miss. But if they did that, even if it's 12-1 going into SEC play, 9-9, 10-8 would go a long way, wouldn't it?
Correct. Yes. Honestly, what they need to do is just avoid a bad loss here in the round. And really, outside of Memphis, there's not a lot of opportunities to build a resume. Maybe win at UCF at the quad 2. Just win the games you're supposed to win, and get yourself to January 1st and try to be 500 in the league, and you're going to be in the NCAA tournament.
Yeah,
if you're in the NCAA tournament year one, that's a great year.
Can't have a repeat of North Alabama at home from last year.
No, not at all. Yeah. No, you got to avoid that. Talking to Kevin Sweeney from Sports Illustrated. He joins us every week to talk college basketball. A team I was high on in the offseason for different reasons than why I think other people might be high on them now is a team like BYU. I thought they could get some stuff out of Quez Glover, who at the time was committed to him and is now at Kansas State. I thought Ali Khalifa could maybe give them a little something. He looks like he can't really hang with the pace they run. But you look up, and this BYU team that was picked to finish really low in Big 12 is now 10th at KenPom. They're in the AP Top 25 this year. How much is this just the schedule they're playing, and how much of this is BYU has something there?
Yeah, I mean, they've blown out pretty much everybody on the schedule. Yeah. And there's only so much you can do more than when you're playing. If you're playing Southeastern Louisiana, you have to beat them, but you don't have to beat them 105-48. That's what they did, right? I mean, that's really impressive. The San Diego State win H as well. I mean, that's critical. I mean, look, there's some 3-point shooting variance at play here. They're shooting 39% from three. They're giving up 22.5%. I have to imagine teams are not going to shoot 22.5% against them this whole season. But they are clearly much better than I anticipated. I think Mark Pope's done a really good job. Remember, he's a really highly touted coach. Last year wasn't great for them, but I mean, he did an unbelievable job early in his tenure, and I think they're certainly the type of team that is the whole being far better than the sum of the parts right now. And another team where just stack those non-conference wins and see if you can get to 500 in the league. It's easier said than done in the Big 12, but they do that, they're going to be just fine.
Kevin, in your travels and your games you've seen in person, who's the one player that's box office? You must go see this guy if he's in your area.
Man, I will say UConn center. I mean, last year you had Adama Sanogo and you had Donovan Clingan, and that was an incredible center duo. And this year it's like, oh, it's Clingan. Do they have that second center? Samson Johnson's their backup center. He's playing 15, 20 minutes a game, just like Clingan did a season ago. He is the most electric athlete in college basketball. He flies up and down the floor. He dunks everything. I mean, you get some of the same kind of pop plays that Andre Jackson made as a wing last year from Johnson as a big guy. And he's just a lot of fun to watch. Obviously, UConn is a team so exciting because of the pace that they play with, how efficient they are on both ends of the floor, and they've certainly look like a title contender so far. But, I mean, Johnson, the way he took over the game, I was at it last Monday at Madison Square Garden against Texas, was really a sight to see. And he has been a big reason UConn has really not missed a beat.
Yeah. It seemed like preseason there was a lot of hype around USC and what they could be this year. Boogie Ellis back again. Brett, another guy that feels like has been playing college basketball forever.
Since 97.
Yeah, really. And then you got Isaiah Collier coming in, the top-rated freshman, and then hopefully we can see Bronny James later in the season after that scary accident in the offseason. But right now, USC, they've lost 2. They're now out of the top 25, lost their most recent game against Oklahoma, lost to UC Irvine earlier in the season. What do you make of the start of the year for USC?
Yeah, no huge alarm bells. I mean, USC was without both Boogie Ellis and Kobe Johnson, who's their third best guard in that UC Irvine game. Now, Oklahoma was just a battle, and Collier didn't play great. I think Oklahoma is pretty underrated. I think that's a team that's going to wind up, they wound up in the top 25 this week. I don't know if they'll stick quite there, but they'll be a tournament team, in my opinion. I don't think that was a bad loss. Now, look, I think they've probably had more growing pains than a lot of people expected. I think a lot of that is related to the fact that their front court is a little bit thin. Like, they just don't have a ton of pop outside of these 3 guards. And right, there's only one basketball, right? It's great that Boogie Ellis and Isaiah Collier and Kobe Johnson are all awesome players, but only one of them can have it at a time. And I think that probably limits the ceiling a little bit. I think Arizona is the Pac-12 favorite, but it certainly wouldn't surprise me if USC's right there. And I certainly think they'll be dancing. It's just a question of what the ceiling with this group winds up being.
Kevin, not even the Globetrotters could work 2 basketballs into that.
They'd try, though.
They would try.
They would try. Well, Kevin, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you, Kevin.
By the time we talk to you next week, do you have any games on tap? How many games do you have on tap before next week?
I think I've got 3 before I see you guys next. I'm going to go Purdue Northwestern on Friday night.
At the alma mater for you. Go Cats.
Should be a good one. Northwestern won that game last year, so we'll see if they can pull it off again.
Well, that sounds like a lot of fun. Kevin, thanks so much for joining us. We'll do it again next week.
All righty, fellas. Have a good one.
Thanks, Kevin. Kevin Sweeney joining us every week to talk college basketball. And it's really getting going, Brett, and some really good games tonight. We've got the SEC, ACC Challenge continuing tonight and some really good games in that one. I know Texas A&M and Virginia is one to keep an eye on. Tennessee in action tonight. Vanderbilt as well. So there are going to be some really fun games. Duke, Arkansas also in there.
All these SEC, ACC Challenge games, wish we had those in football.
Man, wouldn't that be something?
Give me a Clemson-Bama regular season football.
Wouldn't that be fun? That is a good point. We see all of these different challenges, and every conference wants to get involved in a challenge.
None of those football coaches want to play.
None of them want to do that.
Maybe more for a Friday conversation. We may dip back into this. Okay. So Saturday, I think people are looking forward to going to Oxford, to the Pavilion.
Sure.
Memphis has been down there since it's built, but now going down, I don't think there's any doubt with its best team going to the Pavilion. Ole Miss and Memphis should play in every sport, including football. I would prefer for it to be Labor Day weekend, opening weekend. I'd take it anywhere. But if you had to, would you sacrifice playing Ole Miss in anything to play both Tennessee and Arkansas in everything?
I would have to say I would sacrifice that.
I would sacrifice too, Brett.
Yeah. I don't love it, but I would.
And I ask that almost because I hear the rancor and the discord and the lack of the football game. I share that. I want them to play. I can't be any clearer in that. But I wish people would have some of that heat at Tennessee.
Yeah. No, I
don't play in anything.
No, they won't. And the thing that before you told me the two teams and in every sport, the thing that was holding me back, I'll be honest, is the baseball, because Memphis goes down there to play Ole Miss every year. Ole Miss comes up here to play every year, and it's something I love even though usually Ole Miss dominates.
They play in everything in the tighter budget restraints.
Yes, soccer
sports.
and
it makes sense.
It absolutely does, and it's a lot of fun. But if you told me I could get Arkansas every year in those sports, and I could get Tennessee every year in those sports,
football starts in 25.
It does. It'll be here before you know it. And next year, my mom's thrilled about this and wants to plan a trip. Florida State, down at Florida State for the Tigers.
Yeah. So that's going to be nice.
That will be
used
really
to play a
fun
bunch.
It's going to be nice.
Yeah, used to play a lot.
We're peers.
Yeah, no.
And I see some bold projections of a potential Tigers-Virginia Tech matchup.
Oh, man.
That was a 70s thing.
Yeah. Oh, that'd be great. I would like that matchup a lot more than some that I'm seeing of that rematch of 2017 against Iowa State. I don't know how much I want to see that matchup again. Well, let me tell you about our 5 o'clock sponsor, Hewlett & Dunn Boot and Jean on the historic square in Collierville. It's a perfect time to head over to Hewlett & Dunn with the holiday season coming up, and you're looking to buy something for a loved one, a friend. They've got it at Hewlett & Dunn. Charles Hall, he started working there in his teens, and now with his wife, Laura, they own the place, known for all the boots, but also clothing, accessories, and a cap for any team in any season. They've got Western wear, work boots, safety toe, soft toe, rubber boots, boots for every single occasion. You can find them at Hewlett & Dunn. And from head to toe, they have you covered with every brand imaginable, like Ariat, Dam Post, Anderson Bean. Whether for men or women, they've got clothing options like jeans, pants, shirts, shorts, outerwear, and the best duck head collection you'll find. Charles and Laura Hall invite you to 111 North Center Street on the square in Collierville, or to their website, hewlettdunn.com. Hats, sunglasses, boot care products in every area, team snapback, cool hats you can think of for the Tigers, State, UT, Ole Miss, or the Razorbacks. So if you're not looking to go all out on a present or something, you're just trying to finish that holiday shopping, they've even got the accessories at Hewlett & Dunn, and their travel bag selection is top notch. HewlettDunn.com, but please head out to Collierville, give them a visit, and say hello at 111 North Center Street on the square in Collierville. That's Hewlett & Dunn. Let's go ahead and get to a break, and it's a big game tonight at FedEx Forum. The Grizzlies still looking for their first home win of the season, so let's get to a break. On the other side, we'll break down the game tonight between the Grizzlies and the Jazz.
You already know you can listen to Sports 56 anywhere with the Sports 56 app or at sports56whbq.com. But you can also watch us daily with live video of all of our shows on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch.
Tease the season at Edwin Watts Golf Shops by Worldwide Golf for holiday specials this year, featuring the Ping G430 drivers, which combine the ultimate combination of distance and forgiveness. And from Bushnell, the new Tour V6 Series laser rangefinders provide you the most accurate distances in golf. There's always gift cards in any amount for the special golfer you're shopping for. Edwin Watts Golf Shops is home of the 90-day satisfaction guarantee. Shop us in store or online at worldwidegolf.com.
5-Ash Roofing, it's what we do. Roofing and siding, gutters too. We're the pros you can trust to get it done right. Call on us. 5-Ash Roofing, the name to know. 5-Ash Roofing, the only way to go. 5-Ash Roofing, it's what we do. 5-Ash Roofing.
Is that not the corniest thing you've ever heard? Can you believe I paid good money for that silly jingle? Well, the experts say make it memorable, and I think I got my money's worth. 5 Ash Roof Services, proud partner of the Memphis Tigers and the official roofer of the Tigers home team. 5 Ash Roofing, 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
5 Ash Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
While interest rates are on the rise everywhere else, at Genesis Diamonds, we've got just the relief you need this holiday season. 5 years, 0 interest on anything and everything. That's right. Genesis is rolling back interest rates to 0.0%. So that $5,000 diamond ring is yours for just $85 a month. Nothing's held back. Rings, earrings, bracelets, bands, certified natural diamonds, lab-grown diamonds, even luxury pre-owned Rolex watches. Just pick any item for that special someone and spread your payments over 5 years without paying a dime in interest. A $10,000 designer ring comes to just $167 a month. Don't miss this incredible offer. Where else in America can you get financing for 0%? Colored gemstones, designer fashion jewelry, the year's most treasured gifts, all included in this once-a-year offer. At Genesis, we're breaking all the rules to make sure this holiday season your money goes farther. Best prices, unbeatable selection, highest quality, and super aggressive financing. Merry Christmas from Genesis Diamonds at Poplar and Perkins Extended on approved credit.
I'm Gary York. I'm the service director at Lexus of Memphis. Our service department wants to be more than just a place where you get your oil changed. We do glass repair, windshield replacement, recalibration of your camera and sonar systems, even wheel repair, tire replacement, all the things you would expect from a luxury automotive dealer. Please check out our website. You can schedule your appointment, check out our specials, hours of operation, or if you'd like to do it in person, please reach out to one of our associates at 901-271-5199.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is your buddy Johnny Radio. I'm here with Mark, the owner of Dyer's, out in Collierville's historic town square, where they've been cooking up them burgers since 1912, the old-fashioned way. Mark, what's going on in life? I see you got your 4 kids with you. What do they love about Dyer's?
Man, they love everything about Dyer's. They love all the great food that we serve, and they really like eating our good food and watching some of their favorite sports.
Braden, what do you like at Dyer's?
I like a bacon burger with fries, a milkshake, and with a Tigers game in the background.
Carter, who's your favorite football team?
The Carolina Panthers, and just with some macaroni with that sounds amazing.
My man Beckham, what's your favorite food over at Dyer's?
We like the double cheeseburgers.
Kinley, what is your favorite dish over at Dyer's?
Daddy's cheeseburgers and the Dallas Cowboys game in the background.
Just remember, everybody, bring your family, bring your friends, bring your team out and eat at our place.
So head on over to Dyer's in Collierville's historic town square.
Now, back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Hewlett & Dunn, Boot and Jean Company in Collierville. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Welcome back into Sports Time. Bryant and Brett with you as we've got about 30 minutes left in today's show, and we got to talk some Grizzlies as they're back in action tonight at home against the Utah Jazz. And Brett, I've been talking about it we've been talking about it for a week, but the Grizzlies still looking for their home win, their first home win of the season. And I guess that could come tonight against the Utah Jazz.
It needs to come tonight. Don't want to be too dramatic. Way back in Top Story of the Day, I was talking about needing this win tonight.
Yep.
Don't want to use the MUST word.
Well,
but at some point you have to, because we know it's not anything, just unique to our market, our great market that shows right when the Grizzlies are going good. Has been there for a lot of bad times, but these were going to be the wheelhouse years, and they've had a lot of curveballs. They've had a lot of fastballs. They've had a lot of pitches thrown right at the dome this year. It's not one person to blame. I don't want to do that. I think it is an amalgamation of issues that is conspired into this tsunami of futility. And one thing that changes it, I'm doing a lot of spelling here, is WIN.
Yeah, no, I mean, winning is key.
Like I'm playing Scrabble.
Well, hey.
What's going on, Johnny?
I mean, it happens, but I don't think I've ever played Scrabble before.
I never have either. I don't know why I said that.
Hey, Scrabble's an okay game.
Never played it. Never played it down of it.
I watched it. It's okay game.
Okay. But no, I mean, it's been a rough start of the season. There's no way around it. But in terms of, we've talked about the teams. DeMichael came on and kind of talked about these teams remaining home games, and they added another home game because the Grizzlies are not in the.
It's not easy.
It's not easy. I mean, the Timberwolves, who are right now sitting atop the Western Conference, and so it's not going to be easy. But you look at Utah, and they're 1-7 on the road. So I mean, if you're gonna beat a team on the road, Utah clearly plays much better at home. But this is a Utah team that you played way earlier in the season, and
Larry Markkinen looks like.
It was a rough
a
game.
jump shooting Karl Malone for the Jazz when he plays Memphis.
And it's good to know that Lauri Markkinen will not play tonight.
Yes.
So he'll be out tonight, so that will be good. Also, Jordan Clarkson, who had a good game, is a game time decision, as well as Kelly Olynyk. So maybe some guys out for the Jazz. I mean, we know all the injuries for the Grizzlies, but that could certainly help if you don't have Lauri Markkinen on there. Oh yeah, it certainly is, and they need to pounce on it. And so we'll see. What is the energy? And we talked yesterday about the comments of Anthony Edwards and kind of what he said about playing in Memphis, and then after that game on Sunday saying it just was different in there. The energy wasn't there. It was a different level. So what's it like tonight? And if the Grizzlies can win this game at home, what is it moving forward? Because a lot of times, I mean, we talk about this in all sports and all teams, but you just got to get that first one. It's so hard. You start, playing tense and playing tight, and we're 8 games in and we haven't won a game at home, and maybe they get that first one and they can start rolling. But it really has been a rough season, home and away for the Grizzlies.
I used the term way back in Top Story of the Day, fickle fan base.
Yeah.
That's not a shot at anyone.
Mm-hmm.
I think right now, maybe change that word from fickle to very discerning. And I think that describes a lot of ticket buyers. Look, these tickets aren't cheap.
No.
The whole experience to go is not inexpensive.
Right.
There's nothing cheap about it. It's a great experience to go to a Grizzlies game. They do it right. The building's great. Team's been fun. So many great things about them. But the checkout factor this time of year, people are doing budgets.
You're right.
For Santa and time of year.
Yeah.
Some people in this area are doing budgets for bowl trips.
Right.
Tiger basketball. Mm-hmm. It appears will go really well this year.
Yep.
There are people right now deciding, all right, 3, 4, 5, 6 Grizzlies games, or do I save up for that NCAA tournament run potentially?
Yeah.
That's the truth.
Mm-hmm. No, you're right. It's the truth. And then when you look at the Tigers and you look at beat Michigan and Arkansas in the Battle for Atlantis. Look at these home games coming up. Look at all the potential. Look at what they could play in the NCAA tournament. I saw it might have been, I don't know if it was Lenardi or who it was, had a bracketology up the other day that had Memphis playing Tennessee in the second round. Let's start. A
lot of people will budget for that.
Absolutely, and
may blow budgets for that.
Oh, absolutely, and then when you look on the other side of a 3-13 Grizzlies team that hadn't really shown up at home, it's hard.
And how good is 4-13? Beats the heck out of 3-14.
Well, Brett, then you're not in that conversation of the 5 teams with 3 or fewer wins. I mean, it helps. It's not going to change a ton, but I mean, it's like you said, it sure beats only having 3 wins.
And DeMichael talked about it yesterday with us, and I heard him again this morning with Greg and Eli. But I think just in a very matter of fact, pure reporting style that he said it in, try to find home wins.
Yeah.
The rest of this calendar year, the add-in game on the 8th is whom again?
So the road game is Detroit.
Oh, it's Minnesota,
and then Minnesota's the home game.
We just talked about. So you're talking Utah, Minnesota, the next 2 swings at the Pinata at FedEx Forum. After that, Dallas, then Houston, the return game, then Indiana.
Yep.
And that's in Sacramento, New Year's Eve.
Yeah, in Sacramento's that last game. So, I mean, it's tough. I mean, you want to win tonight because none of those
never
are
mind
easy.
1. Find 2 in there.
Yeah, really. I can't because I was kind of looking for 1, and I had written down the December games, and so I didn't have the Jazz on here. I mean, this is This is your best opportunity to get a win at home. Not saying that they wouldn't beat Houston or Dallas
against a vulnerable Jazz.
Sure, yes, but this is in terms of when you're just looking at records, what teams have done on the road, yada yada yada. This is where you get the Jazz, and so we'll see. We'll see if they can do it tonight. But and I did see. Speaking of DeMichael Cole, I think I saw him post something earlier on Twitter that Marcus Smart was out shooting around today, and that he said he's getting closer. Didn't have his boot on, and that he's getting closer. So maybe we're getting close to turning that corner with injuries, and maybe can get some of these guys back. But the way the season has started, it seems like one guy gets healthy and two more get injured.
Look, you guys have followed the Grizzlies really your entire lives. I have followed them since day one here at the Pyramid. Do y'all believe, like I do, that this is the lowest point ever?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the lowest point I have ever experienced being a Grizzly fan in my life.
And in a way, kind of the good low point, because we were expecting so many highs. This is not a team that's been winning 20 games and drafting in the lottery and it not working out.
Right.
I mean, this was the prime wheelhouse, go for it years, and the low point is parallel with the disappointment.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I've seen, this was a week or so ago when I saw people kind of comparing the start of this season to back, 2017, when, there was just the whole slew of injuries. And,
I know what you're talking about.
And that was the end of Core 4.
Exactly. That was the
end of
Core 4, that you didn't really have a superstar on the team.
We were starting over.
Yeah, that was the start of these, what you have now. Yeah. And so I think that, this is way lower than that, because you have these superstars, these top 5 draft picks in Jaren and Ja, that you were supposed to build the future around. Desmond, starting to come around and looking like could be an all-star, and it just hasn't worked out this year.
And for someone out there listening right now going, man, you guys are so negative, you're so critical. Tell me at 3-13 how we should be.
Yeah.
Look, I'm all for it. Playoff time, waving the towels, doing the chants, having the good time. This is quite the opposite of that.
Yeah.
And from our point of view, I think we're very, very pro-Grizzly. And we want to be. How many times have I said I can't imagine this market without them? There's no chance of us being without them. But from what we do, how limited, never, ever do we get offered a player, get offered a coach, get offered a front office person. Never. Except for their own operation and frankly, correctly, their affiliate. Everybody else is persona non grata to them. Yeah. So you can't have us, when it's good times and the happy talk and we do it, and then in bad times, you should sound like our own media operation and our affiliate sounds.
Right.
Sorry.
Yeah, no, what are you supposed to say with 3-13 and injury, suspension, just all sorts of different things? What are you supposed to say? It's impossible to be positive right now. There's just nothing to be positive about.
In fact, without the backdrop, the specter of all the other things going on, Tiger football, Tiger basketball, SEC, all the college football, if we had wanted to hone in and just really be critical, we could have a lot more than we're even doing now.
Well, Brett, that's a really good point, because I think some of this, and I don't think much of it at all, but I do think some of the outrage has been kind of moved to the side because it's football season, because we love the SEC and we're watching the NFL and college football. But
I think some people are just now kind of waking up and going, the Grizzlies are this bad?
13,
Oh, yeah.
I agree with Brett on that. People are just waking up.
No, you're absolutely right. I was at a party. I shouldn't say a party. I was at a dinner a couple weeks back. It was when Memphis and Missouri were playing, and the Grizzlies were playing somebody at home in an in-season tournament game. I don't remember who that was. And the people I was sitting with...
the Jazz.
It was the Jazz.
Yeah.
I thought for a second it might have been the Jazz. But the people I was sitting with, they were watching the game, and they go, I had no idea the Grizzlies were this bad this year. And I was like, they're pretty bad. Not very good right now.
And on the whole must-win front, I don't ever want to make Game 17 on 29 of November must win, but also think the other side, the more pro-Grizzly positive side, gets away with that warm blanket of it's a long year.
Right.
You know, well, at some point the losses start racking up, and I would say at 3-13 they've racked up.
No, they've certainly racked up, and it is a different type of season that I think we really expected. But it should be interesting to see if the Grizzlies can get a win tonight against the Utah Jazz. Utah coming in 6-11, 1-7 on the road. Like we said countless times, Grizzlies right now 3-13. But let's go ahead.
I hope tonight is the start of a 10-game winning streak.
I hope so, and I hope they get that get that off their back and can win that first game at FedEx Forum. But let's get to a break. When we come back, we'll wrap up today's show with Taco Bell Crunch Time.
Start your day with Sports 56 Mornings with Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy. Weekday mornings from 7 to 10, right here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Roofs, roofs, and more roofs. Chris Price here with Metro Builders. Is your roof leaking? Do you have mold stains on the ceiling of your home or business? Is your carrier denying your claim or offering a repair simply because they don't have enough documentation? You need a contractor that performs work for insurance claims for policyholders each and every day, and Metro Builders is here to assist. Call Metro Builders. At Metro Builders, we provide free estimates, consultation, and claim repairs. Metro Builders' process of arriving, inspecting, diagnosing problems, and estimating is second to none, commercial and residential. Our team of Hague-certified technicians are standing by to assist you with providing estimates and photos to your carrier to document your loss. All you owe is what your policy states. No large fees on top of the final scope. We use high-grade materials and are certified by companies like Atlas, CertainTeed, Owens Corning, and Mulehide with labor warranties up to 50 years on all of our jobs. Metro Builders provides roof repairs across the Mid-South. Call Metro Builders to schedule your inspection free. Call me. 901-375-1717. That's 901-375-1717.
You or someone you know or care about has dealt with a difficult divorce. When facing divorce, you need the attorneys at Rice Law. Nick and Larry Rice lead the firm with 3 generations and 7 decades of experience. Located in Memphis, serving the entire state of Tennessee and North Mississippi. Rice Law is who you need to call. Simple or difficult divorce, they know how to handle it. Call Rice Law at 901-526-6701, or for more information, visit them at aboutdivorce.com. That's aboutdivorce.com.
Let's end this year with a bang with Gossett Mitsubishi's Mitsubishi Motors year-end sales event. You want huge savings? We Gossett. The awards keep coming for the world's first and best-selling plug-in hybrid SUV, 2023 Mitsubishi Outlander PHEV, 420 total range and PGE. We Gossett at $299.96 a month. Plus, 2024 Mitsubishi Outlander Sport, buy for $26,850 or $379 a month. Plus, IIHS top safety pick in seat 7, 2024 Mitsubishi Outlander, $32,185 or $399 a month. All equipped with Mitsubishi's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. You want it, we Gossett. Gossett Mitsubishi, 1870 Covington Pike, or 24/7 at memphismitsubishi.com.
If you want it, we Gossett at Gossett Motor Cars.
PHEV PZ062-303, MSRP 44,355, 84 months, 500 military and conquest or loyalty rebate. Outlander RZ 006545, MSRP 33,185. Sport RU 001-004, MSRP 27,850. Includes all rebates and incentives. PF 695 excludes tax, title, and license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through end of the month with approved credit. Dealer stock only.
Join Jaron, Dez, and your Memphis Grizzlies tonight at 7 p.m. when your Grizzlies host the Utah Jazz, presented by Matta. Get hyped, get ready for a fierce showdown, and secure your tickets today by calling 901-888-HOOP or visiting Grizzlies.com.
At Jason's Deli, when you're dining in or picking up curbside, you can expect wholesome food and no surprises, just delicious sandwiches, crisp salads, and quick quality meals made with the freshest ingredients and no artificial trans fats, MSG, high fructose corn syrup, or artificial colors and dyes. Around here, a lot of thought goes into what we put into our food and what we take out of it, because you're not just taking a bite, you're getting a taste of who we are. New items are constantly being created to expand our menu for all tastes and special diets, with vegan and gluten-free options available. Convenience and on-time delivery you can count on. It's just a click away at jasonsdeli.com, so whether you need to feed 5 people or 5,000, the team at Jason's Deli, they have the credentials and the commitment to keep you satisfied. Freshness is nearby at Jason's Deli, with locations at Ridgeway in the Park Place Center, Poplar and Highland, Germantown Road in Cordova, and on Goodman Road in Olive Branch. Jason's Deli. It's wholesome food and no surprises.
So you need to sell your house? I have the solution. Call 901-406-1101. That's 901-406-1101. Call my buddy Bill and I buy houses. Any house, any area, as is. It's literally as simple as that. Just pick up your phone. Call 901-406-1101. That's 901-406-1101. Call my buddy Bill at I Buy Houses. Guaranteed to close in 5 days. If you need to sell your house fast, call Bill at 901-406-1101. That's Bill at I Buy Houses.
Do you know one of the best things you can do for your employees or family's health? Provide Arctic Clear bottled water. Arctic Clear bottled water is your locally owned and operated bottled water provider. Arctic Clear is 100% natural spring water with free delivery and setup, dependable service, and no long-term contracts. What an easy choice. Call Jeff Manus today, 901-382-2363, or visit arctic-clear.com. Arctic Clear bottled water. Call now, 382-2363. That's 382-2363.
Upgrade your commute at Acura of Memphis. Seize the thrill and test drive one of our award-winning models, each packed with cutting-edge technology, luxurious amenities, and a driving experience that's sure to awaken your inner self. Driving shouldn't be a chore, it should be an adventure. Advance your drive today, shop our aggressive lease and finance options now, luxury is waiting at Acura of Memphis, or shop online 24/7, visit AcuraofMemphis.com.
Now, back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Hewlett & Dunn Boot and Jean Company in Collierville. Once again, here are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
If I go crazy, then
Go crazy, folks! Go crazy!
This is for all the biggest crunch time.
You are looking live. In your life have you seen anything like that? Goodbye! Hello, Haskins.
It's obviously crunch time.
Hammer, nail, coffin. This baby is over.
The double steak grilled cheese burrito, so good. Double the steak with nacho cheese sauce, seasoned rice, red strips, sour cream, and the 3-cheese blend wrapped inside a warm flour tortilla, with even more 3-cheese blend grilled on the top. The double steak grilled cheese burrito, it hits the spot now at Taco Bell. And at Taco Bell, when they say they are feeding people's lives with unexpected good, they mean it. Bowl food you can't get anywhere else.
Well, Brett, what I learned today is that Nelson Cruz is joining the Dodgers organization as an advisor, which I'm a big fan of. I always like when former players get on with the team as an advisor, some sort of role right after they retire. I think it's
I will
smart.
forever love Nelson Cruz.
Well, you will forever love him for a different reason for why I will forever love him and why I forgave him, because Nelson Cruz honestly is one of my all-time favorite players in terms of players I've watched play.
He blew it right field.
Well, he sure did.
In Game 6.
But Brett, I believe I was at a football game when that happened, so I never saw it with and then I refused after it happened.
Section 152 for me. Busch Stadium, St. Louis, Missouri.
I've heard it plenty of times. But no, Nelson Cruz, this move is really cool for the Dodgers. I mean, I think Nelson Cruz is a figure in baseball that a lot of the young guys respect, and he seems like a very likable guy in the clubhouses and stuff.
It's a good move.
I think it's a very smart move for the Dodgers, and we'll see if any more moves like this come with recent retired players.
Best fans in baseball. That's why everybody hates us.
That's right. And now I'm one of y'all. How about that?
Yeah. What I learned today, if it's this time next year, then 11th seed Ole Miss, they'd be headed to play 6th seed Ohio State for a game in the playoffs at the Horseshoe on the banks of the old Intangi. Wow. Next year will give a lot of teams hope. About 15 to 20 with about 3 to 5 that can really win it all. I think it's going to get a lot of coaches fired because the hope of being in the playoffs this time next year will get sold at about 40 places. Yep. They're just 12 spots.
Yeah, and that just gets bigger of, we understand you can't make it at 4. How are you not making it at 12?
And the calls to go to 16 will be immediate.
Oh, absolutely. Now, what I could have done without kind of ties in with the college football playoffs because, Brett, I'm already tired. It's Wednesday. I'm tired of two things when it comes to college football playoffs. I'm tired of all of the Oregon hype going into this game. I understand they've been playing better.
September really carved that image for the Pack.
It really, really did. But, I mean, I've seen a lot. I've gone back and forth on television and looking at some of these articles on
They're
these
just
websites.
not better than Texas.
No, they are not. And the fact that people are already penciling them in the college football when they haven't even played Washington yet. They haven't even let things shake up.
I said it with Dave this morning, and I am one. Lifetime dues paid up.
Yeah.
I'm tired of the SEC honks.
Well, I agree with that. And another thing I hate, and I understand it's the human element of it, but the
Will they kick me out of the club?
No, well, no, I don't think so. I think you've paid enough dues, Brett. But I don't like this kind of human element of I hope Florida State loses on Saturday so I don't have to watch them in the college football playoffs. I understand they lost their unbelievable quarterback, and that's awful. But for the rest of that team,
they won at the Swamp without him.
And for the rest of this team, yeah, Jordan Travis isn't playing, but
Tennessee didn't win at the Swamp this year,
and Tennessee did not look good at all in the Swamp. But for the rest of this team, Brett, they're going to be out there playing. They've been out there playing this whole season and have been part of this undefeated team. And so if they are undefeated, if they beat Louisville, I think absolutely they should be in the college football playoff.
I could have done without this. Tonight was supposed to be that dream matchup of maybe 2 top 5, certainly 2 top 10s at Bud Walton Arena in Fayetteville. The Razorbacks have lost 3 out of 4.
Yeah.
This was supposed to be big-time matchup, and the Razorbacks are reeling after losses to Memphis and North Carolina in Atlanta. Devo Davis, so far this year, is doing his KJ Jefferson imitation. Been around a long time, and people are starting to grow weary of him.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right about that. And I mean, not really the start I don't think anybody expected at Arkansas. I mean, first couple games rolling, but now quite the opposite. Where are you beaming tonight?
To FedEx Forum, Grizzlies in Utah. When you're 3-13, every game feels must, like we talked about in the last segment.
Yeah.
If it's not must, it's need to really win bad. Hard to find many wins until a lot of people get well, and Ja Morant makes his return. After tonight, 8 more without Ja Morant.
Yeah, well, the countdown has been going, and it's going to continue for Grizzlies fans. I'm beaming to FedEx Forum to watch this Grizzlies game, but also I'll just throw in an extra one there. Maybe beam to that game and maybe on my phone or something have this game going. 6 o'clock, Texas A&M and Virginia, 2 opponents that the Tigers will see coming up really quickly.
How does RPI Net read that out tonight? Going to get a win, going to get a loss.
It's going to be a mess. But Texas A&M will be down there in College Station, a ranked team. Virginia will be at home. Right now, Virginia.
Do they introduce Mike Elko and bring him out to midcourt?
Oh, wouldn't that be something? You've seen the swing and his introductory press conference.
A lot of
swaying at College Station. But no, that game will be a really good game tonight on ESPN, or ESPN2, I should say.
I'll keep a close eye on a lot tonight, like the rotations at FedEx Forum. Jalen Noel is on an NBA roster, and we'll see him tonight. And the Grizzlies are favored. How? The Lakers tonight versus 2-win Detroit. Those two teams have met in some classic NBA finals. Tonight is not classic. 7 SEC versus ACC games again tonight. Last night, 4-3 for the SEC.
Yeah.
Pretty good night. Real good night for Ole Miss.
Really, really good night for Ole Miss. And fun games all around. 4-3, but all of those games were really fun to watch.
Except for LSU going to the not the Carrier Dome anymore.
No, it's not.
Not the Carrier Dome, and they don't play zone.
Brett's a different time. It's a different time at Syracuse for sure. But no, Brett, I love to keep an eye on the amount of college basketball games. 73 Division I versus Division I games tonight in college basketball. So it's a full slate.
Why didn't you use that 445 for big number of the day?
I should have. But it's going to be an action-packed night in college basketball. But that's all the time we have today. If you're driving down to FedEx Forum to catch the Grizzlies game tonight, drive safe. Enjoy the game. We'll talk to you tomorrow afternoon at 3 o'clock.
That screams I feel good? DriveMax has it all. From cars to SUVs, find a tightly inspected used car that'll have you dented all the way home. Call 901-664-2424 or visit DriveMaxApproval.com.
DriveMax, I got approved.
Guns, guns, and more guns. Over 700 firearms in stock. Home defense guns, old guns, new guns, used guns, big guns, little guns. Every gun you can think of, Classic Arms has them. All brands like Glock, Sig, Colt, Ruger, Smith & Wesson, Browning, Beretta, Benelli, Remington, Winchester, and more. Guaranteed lowest prices in town. Only gun importer in the Mid-South. Free gun inspections and appraisals and free bore sighting for the upcoming deer season. Shop online at ClassicArmsOfMemphis.com or visit Classic Arms at 1740 Germantown Parkway behind Corky's Barbecue in Cordova.
How long has it been since you heard the term being overstocked? Well, it's happened at Family Leisure. Yep. That means you get the savings, like select patio sets that are up to 50% off. If you need a play gym, you're in luck because they're also overstocked and start at under $2,000. Pool tables and game room items up to $700 off of in-stock items. Saunas, massage chairs, arcades, even theater seating. Special financing is available with free delivery. Family Leisure is extending sale pricing on all in-stock hot tubs and swim spas. And if you need supplies to close up your pool for the winter, Family Leisure has them up to 30% off. It's been a while since you've heard of an overstock sale, but Family Leisure is right in the middle of one. Huge deals and a huge overstocked inventory. That means great savings for you. It's happening now at Family Leisure, Whitten Road at I-40, where family and fun come together.
Welcome to the Rendezvous.
This is John Vergas. When my dad started the Rendezvous in 1948, I don't think anyone could have imagined we'd still be serving shoulder, cheese plates, and our world-famous dry rub ribs 75 years later. But we are still here in the basement, in an alley in downtown Memphis. We sincerely thank you for making the Rendezvous what it is today. Charlie Vergas Rendezvous. A legendary experience for over 75 years, whether you dine in, pick up, or ship across the country.
The Black Friday sales event is on, and you better run, not walk, to Gossett Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram Fiat on the Pike. Plus, Gossett's got no payments for 90 days. That's right, 90 days, no payments. Take your pick, 2023 Dodge Charger SXT or 2023 Dodge Challenger SXT, $6,000 off MSRP. Or check out 2023 Ram 1500 Bighorn, seat 6, 6,750 pounds towing capacity. We Gossett at $11,000 off. And if we don't have what you're looking for, Gossett can order it today. So drive past the rest and come to the best at Gossett on the Pike or shop online at GossettMotorCars.net.
If you want it, we Gossett at Gossett Motorcars.
Charger PH 50 8657 MSRP 35960. Challenger PH 596577 MSRP 36345. Ram PN 523262 MSRP 55755. Financing and deferred monthly to well-qualified buyers through Chrysler Capital or Stellantis Financial Services. Take retail delivery by 11/30/23. Includes all rebates and incentives. $695 PF. Excludes tax title and license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 11/30/2023 with approved credit dealer stock only.